Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Spar and Brawl. I hope you're having a decent day. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Sam. We're back with a new episode of The Progressive World. So this should be a pretty fun one, a pretty long one, a lot of infuriating, but also funny segments and videos that we'll be covering. So as usual, you can find timestamps down below, and please make sure to like and subscribe. So, all right, here are a few stories that we're going to tease. Of course, we have a bunch of Hill stories. I mean, I put up the picture of the one with Matt Stoller.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him since the time he was on Bree's show,
Nazi
and
thing. Yeah.
huh?
The communist China
Yeah,
parties are
exactly.
Nazi
And
party. Yeah.
he didn't disappoint, huh? He was like,
No,
okay, you
no.
guys thought that was
He
all I had.
I mean yeah, he's one of those guys you should not really ask him about anything except what he has expertise in. It just leads to but I like that you put this picture up because this picture I think points to our main story today, which is like the Hill producers apparently have forced Katie to take shower and comb her hair and put on makeup. It was I don't know what was the meeting for that like, but I can imagine there were hours of negotiation. Okay, Katie, come on, give you $10,000 more. Just please comb your hair. Please, come on, Katie. No, I don't know how they negotiated that, but well
Well,
done. Because I've seen her for a couple of years now, at least on YouTube, and I've never seen this Katie. Like, I mean, I've never seen her comb her hair. This is ridiculous.
but I mean,
She's
listen,
selling
she's
out.
in studio. She's in studio here. So maybe she walked in there and they pretty much forced her, like ambushed
Yeah, I
her.
think so. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
other
with one
scenario.
of, they put her to sleep with one of those, darts.
Yeah,
And
the
just finished.
tranquilizers or whatever.
Yeah, tranquilize. I know.
But yeah, of course, we have a
Uh,
bunch of ones with Brie as well. So everyone, the whole gang.
uh, yeah, but
Then
the B ones are
Kyle,
pretty sure.
yeah, then Kyle interviewed, I mean, spoke to,
Two
I don't know
people.
who they are because A, he didn't put their names in the title. Or I swear in the description of the video. I double check right now. And I don't know why he even posted this video on his computer, on his own account. So it's on Alex Jones. It must have been the worst segment ever featuring Kyle, given like the other guest. I've never seen such level of like vagueness in a conversation. 20 minutes. People in the comment section agreed, of course, with us too, but this was something else.
Man, this was like a parody of when you're at university and you get high and people are like, yeah, man, but what if this happens when you do ministry of no, man, that's not right. Do you want to puff? It was the most ridiculous version of that because it's just I genuinely was like pulling my hair out. What are you talking about? Like, it was so
And
stupid.
yeah, we'll talk about it. The guys were both
And but
nice and forthcoming though about the fact that they're just being very vague.
yeah, that's true. That's it. I mean, man, they tried to. I mean, I love, by the way, people who try to stay anonymous online by having a personality online. While like, oh no, I won't share my picture. Oh, you are so anonymous right now. I'm sure CIA, NSA, all of them are going around. Who is this guy
Yeah.
with the upside down smiley thingy going? Who is he? We don't know. We don't know. I'm sure you're very secure. I just delusion. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, especially if that's the kind of reason. I mean, I don't know if you're like shy or something, I don't, or like some
Yeah,
other
maybe.
like
Okay, maybe.
personal or something. But oftentimes it is this. I mean,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
It's
the
like,
guy who came on. I remember the guy who came on Glenn Greenwald. A couple of them who came to be
yes,
anonymous.
yes.
That was the reason. Like, so you're probably right.
I mean, it's like the idiots who buy guns because they're afraid of like government is gonna come, and then they can use
Yeah.
the guns to like you do know like do you know the level of like are you stupid like yeah
Yeah,
they
that's a
have
good
tanks
comparison.
motherfucker. Anyways,
Then we're gonna quickly come back to the Sapiens book, or just in general, Harari. Sam has two quotes. I wish I had brought some too, but I feel like we can do this
it
over
was a
time.
packed show. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually might be, I'm not sure, but the quote might be from his other book, the
Yeah.
Dukes
I don't.
thingy. Yeah. My
Um,
apologies. My throat is fucked up.
no worries. Mine too is in the best shape. And then we got the Iranian Hulk. We had spoken about this man. I mean, just look at this picture for now if you don't know anything about him, and then just listen to the story that's gonna come. I mean,
By
of
the way,
course, it's the complete opposite, as you know, it
of
should
course,
be, but yeah.
he's a Hulk, but in a action figure Hulk that you buy from the
But man,
store.
in one of the videos
Is
too,
that
though,
that's Photoshop, right?
doesn't have to be a little bit, maybe,
Doesn't have to
the
be
coloring of like, what was this? His, I forgot. Anyway, the muscle up
shoulders.
there. No, there's another muscle, traps, I believe. Like,
Oh,
it,
the
no,
neck,
yeah, the
the
on top.
connecting neck
Yeah.
to
I mean, maybe,
I don't
some
know.
editing to make it that. But, it's actually funny. He looks huge here, but in one of the videos, of course, he's boxing with another huge guy. So in that case, he doesn't even look like Hulk in any, in any way or
Well,
form. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. No, I mean, it's just I don't. This picture is weird to me because he looks fat and thin at the same time. That's why I
Yeah.
thought
No,
maybe.
there's probably some editing going on. Don't get me wrong. Or just the lighting and, just the lighting
Oh,
and
that's a
angle
good
and
point.
all that is as good as
Yeah,
editing at times.
but yeah, he's one of the funniest guys, and I like to say that a lot of they keep saying Iranian Hulk kind of stuff. Like now we have official. I'm not fucking kidding. From an official ministry, they came out and they've clarified that. I'll talk about it. But they
Okay.
clarified the relationship with this whatever
Really
thing is. Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
I sent you a video of him because there was he had a recent fight.
Yeah. No. I watched I watched a video with the British guy, but he didn't
No,
talk
no.
about that. Yeah. So I didn't watch the other ones. So you'll
There is a short
catch
one.
me.
We'll hopefully play it.
No,
But
I
yeah.
watched his fight though, the short fight, the boxing
Oh
video.
yeah.
Yeah. I have
Did
plenty
you
to
see
say
that?
about that.
Oh, we have to
Yeah.
watch that. Yeah, yeah. That's from this week.
Yeah. Beautiful. And then, yeah, should have mentioned when we were talking about the Rising, Andrew Yang appeared on the Rising, and yeah, it was typical Andrew Yang. He has his formula down, so we'll talk about
Yeah.
that. That was funny. He shared the most meaningless figure I've ever heard, but yeah,
Which one?
that his party's officially the third biggest party. It's like
Oh
being
well.
an only kid and being like, I'm my parents' favorite
Yeah.
kid. It's the
Tallest
in
short
the
person.
US, that's all it means. There is no other third party for you to compete with. Oh, by
I mean, I
resources,
must
and by resources, not by even
by
achievement or
funding.
anything,
Yeah.
by resources. So yeah, they beat the Green Party. I mean, that was
Yeah. I mean,
just no.
I mean, it's more of a statement, really, on the Green Party that
Yeah.
that just literally one guy on his own can outdo them within like a year. But within a year, I have outgrown the Green. Like Green Party is the most useless organization ever, probably. But I would say, yeah, I mean, I think he was being a bit fictitious there. I thought he was being funny, so I give him a bit credit. Like I thought he was trying to joke there. So, but whatever.
Really? Okay. All right.
I hope
Perhaps.
can't think he was serious.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know why I changed back. All right. So let's get into our chit chats.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how was your trip from the picture?
Yeah. So it's the picture I found on Google. But yeah, very, very good trip. So I went to Corseca, which is this little island here, belongs to France. This is Sardinia here, I believe I said it correctly, which belongs to Italy. And yeah, of course, where Napoleon is from. But yeah, man, I mean, listen, like amazing, the beaches and stuff, like for it's literally an hour away from Geneva, right? Like, I mean, an hour-long flight, not longer. So for that kind of flight, it was just amazing beaches. I mean, I haven't been to too many beaches in my life, but one of like, the best I've seen, much better than in Nice, for instance, that, so much like more famous and like a hot spot and all that. Of course it's an island, but there, for instance, the beaches have pebbles and things like that. Here it's like nice sand and stuff. So yeah, a great place that you don't hear about too often. Sometimes, like, you hear about like Nice and other like kind of like
To
fancy-ish
be
sounding
fair,
stuff.
Corsica has recently become, I don't know, I have actually, like the same time you were there, we had, I think she's still there. Like, we have family members and stuff. They have
Okay,
villas there. It's a big
May.
villa. If any family
Yeah.
member we have who's in Paris, they have like a
Oh,
tiny villa
brilliant.
or some shit.
So maybe it's catching up. Because, yeah, I was like thinking, like, you always hear about these other places in France, and this seemed like a much better holiday destination. And it's a big
I remember
island,
Zidane has a
340,000
place.
people. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, as if I know Zidane. Like, yeah, Zidane, Zidane? I used to stay there.
Yeah, but I didn't think
yeah.
people like that would have it because I don't know, it doesn't give that too much of that kind of vibe. And like, you
I
hear always like in France, like Saint-Tropez or like Cannes or like these kind of
Yeah, but
places,
I think maybe that's, Nice is pretty international, or can,
Yeah.
but I would say, I think, to be honest, it's more correct. People can correct, but I think Corsica is actually more high class than Nice. I think it's not as famous. It's kind of
Yeah.
like, Monaco or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's
I don't know.
super
I definitely
elite.
didn't get I definitely didn't get like
Get that vibe?
those
No.
vibes. I mean, again, we got an Airbnb, but like places we got it were like, I mean, there's all kind, but yeah, I didn't get that
Yeah, I
vibe,
know.
or
I
you
know.
didn't see the cars at all, and like all the beaches, a lot of them, at least, they were public
I don't.
beaches. I'm sure that, yeah, I don't know. I didn't. No, I don't
Yeah,
think like that. But like Nice is a big city anyway, and now it's just, yeah,
that's true.
that's
That's,
different anyway. The comparison is not too fair in a way.
I think, yeah, maybe it should be. I don't know. But the thing is, I always thought of Corsica as a bit, I don't know, babe, because in like literature or something, like Italy, having a villa in Italy is almost like the super elite level. That's like the highest.
Yeah.
Having, like, you have a house in London, like apartment, and then you have a villa in southern Italy. So I guess I associated maybe with that, and
Well,
or like I thought.
apparently Sardinia is like double the price in general for things.
Wow,
So
really?
there apparently, yeah, that's what I've heard. There it's apparently much more expensive.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a
Sardinia
bigger
is far more famous as well.
yeah, it's a bigger island too.
Yeah, sure.
But man, Corsica had like 340,000 people, and they were like, yeah, I was surprised they actually like produced like wine and this kind of stuff too. I didn't even think they did that, but
well,
yeah.
you know what is their most of their economy is, though?
What would my guess be? I mean,
I love how you
agriculture.
take me serious. They're all gangsters, don't you know?
Oh, really? No,
Mafia.
really?
Corsican mafia is super
Yeah,
famous.
I
Yeah,
know about that.
yeah, Corsican. I mean, in movie. I mean, look, I'm joking. I'm sure it's been changed, but in movies, it's super famous. The French connection is through the Corsican mafia. Was, they were involved in heroin trade. There is a great French movie, The Unprophet. Maybe you've seen it, about the Muslim French guy who it's about. That's actually, maybe that's like interest, because that's about how Muslim gangs or Muslim minorities start taking over from Corsican minorities. It's a Muslim guy who joins the Corsican gang, but at the same time, it's a Unprophet.
Interesting.
Fucking amazing. It's a masterpiece.
No, I never heard of that.
French. Yeah, it's a great French film. But Corsican mafia is super famous. Yeah. I'm sure it's not like that anymore, but
yeah,
I'm just going with the stereotypes.
But in spots it could be, but yeah, who knows? But yeah, but one other thing that caught my attention right there, I want to ask you about this.
Oh,
so
wow,
this is their flag.
Is that allowed? Or?
Hold on, and they're obsessed. I mean, you've never seen, I've never been to a place where they use their flag on so many places. Of course, all the souvenir places, water bottle that they produce, everywhere there is this, really? Right? Everywhere. So let me walk you through it and then tell me if you think, this is, what this is, right? Like racism or what. So here's a quick background story, but let me tell you, hold on. So here's, based on the 2 Wikipedia links that I'm gonna take you. Let me tell you. So the flag of Corsica adopted in 1775 based on a traditional flag used previously. All right, not gonna get too much into political story and stuff, but you know, of course, they're obsessed with being separatist and you know all of this kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff. That's just like
like Quebec or something.
yeah, common knowledge. And they had protests there early on this year about this Ivan guy, the separatist guy who was killed in jail. So they had his spray paintings of him everywhere and all that. So of course that's just normal. But this portrays a Moor's head. So I was like, okay, what is a Moor?
All right.
Click on them.
Oh, you didn't know it's a Moor?
No. I don't know that. And there's a Moor's head since the 11th century, a symbol depicting the head of a black man.
Well, Moors are, I mean, that's a specific Moor's head, but Moors are the people from North Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Or
so
that's
you
how
think
they
so?
were.
I didn't think that they were called that. At first, I actually had those thoughts, and I was like, "Is that?" Because I mean, that's extra messed up. So maybe you can look that up on your phone.
Yeah, I have it right now. The term Moor is an exonym. Exonym means a name that a outside group gives to you. So exonym. So the term Moor is the exonym first used by Christian Europeans to designate the Muslims inhabitants of Maghreb, or I think as what is Maghreb called in English?
Maghreb.
Morocco?
No,
Maghreb is called Maghreb, the country.
Yeah, it's like the whole region, right? I think they're referring to
in
Algeria,
English,
Tunisia.
they refer to whole region.
I believe so.
Right. I think in English, in Farsi, Maghreb
region
is,
in Africa. The Maghreb, also
Farsi,
northwest Africa, western part of North Africa.
Maghreb in Farsi is which one is it? It's I think Morocco. Inhabitants of Maghreb, the Iberian Peninsula, Sicily, and Malta during the Middle Ages. The term Moors initially referred to indigenous Maghrebine Berbers. So, you know, Zinedine Zidane is a Berber, sort of North African Arabic, sort of. It's not, you know, a sub-Saharan.
Yeah.
But the name was later also applied to Arabs and Arabized Iberians. So even like Spanish at some point. So yeah, Moors from what I knew was that. So I assume.
But how come here there's not that kind of referencing? So I would have thought too that would make sense, because here, so is there something wrong in the Wikipedia link, or maybe they're all connected? Hold on. So Moor said since the 11th century is a symbol depicting the head of a black Moor, and then I click on this, and this takes me to black amour, which is a type of figure in European decorative art depicting a black man. Common examples include, you know, sculpture, jewelry, and all this. And it's showing me like, you know, all these kind of things. But some of them were also like animals and stuff I thought I had seen. So maybe I was mistaken. I was more looking at that. So
I don't think it's, the Wikipedia pages don't have bigger context, interestingly, which they usually have. And I think it's, but it's not wrong. It's just they don't have big. They just went to a very specific.
Yeah.
You know.
So do you think the Corsicans are they're trying to hide their the origin of like where this, you know, of this flag and all this?
Like, because of the Wikipedia pages. No, I don't think so. Because to be honest, I don't think it's meant as a derogatory thing. So
yeah, I mean, you know, it's not blackface or something like that, but it's
exactly. And to be honest, it's not like there is anything wrong with black color. It's just because of the usage like, in the past. So
yeah, exactly.
In fact, it kind of looked cool, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean,
it reminded me of
so it's like how they refer to those. No, but it's how they refer to people from North African region. So I mean, you know, it could have had some. I mean, just like anybody else, when they refer, like, you know, whenever people refer to people from other countries, it often has like a derogatory thing in general. They can typically have, but that's not exclusive. But
I mean, yeah, if you say fucking more, that's can be derogatory, of course. But I don't think.
But they also have it's everywhere though, and it's turned into their branding. Honestly,
listen to this.
So.
Of course, I mean, it's like a flag thing, right?
But they go, but it's everywhere. Yeah, exactly.
Confederate flag in South. The term has also been used in Europe in a broader, somewhat derogatory sense to refer to Muslims in general, especially those of Arab or Berber descent, whether living in Spain or North Africa. During the colonial era, the Portuguese introduced the name Ceylon Moors and Indian Moors in South Asia and Sri Lanka, and the Bengali Muslims were also called Moors. In the Philippines, the long-standing Muslim community, which predates the arrival of the Spanish, now self-identifies as the Moro people, an exonym introduced by Spanish colonizers due to their Muslim faith. So it depends on the, I guess,
Yeah.
context and country and time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would say still, yeah, up for debate, but I mean, I see how they go, how they won't ever change this. I mean, their branding was just, they were just, and you know, they're all about their separatists and all this, so they want to, you know, have their flag to be different, I guess, from France. And
yeah,
just,
they. It's European. I'm sorry, but every fucking village in Europe. But so, by the way, that's there. Is there French? Does it sound stupid or
no? They some of them had a bit of an accent, but no, not really.
Like, was it any? Like, was the unique accent to Corsica or?
No. I mean, it just didn't sound. You know, of course, they weren't from Paris, so it doesn't sound like, you know, the French that
Parisian,
as close as to like, you know, a movie or Paris. But yeah. But you know, it made me kind of think of this the whole time, though, in a way. But I don't think it's related at all.
What is that? So child marriage?
No.
What is
in French, they have this. In France, especially in France, they have this saying. It's called pied noir. It means black feet, and it means so I mean, I can just go to the English wiki as well, so I don't have to translate.
See, I swear this is a child marriage.
No, this is an old woman. I don't know, but it designates French people from Algeria, who are French descendants of Europeans installed who live in Africa. So I mean, hold on. Let me. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Hold on. Let me get the English version because I did a very bad. Where's it?
There is no English version for this page.
No, it has to be. I think it's because I've made my screen small. All right. Pied Noir are the people of French and other European descent who were born in Algeria during the French period of French rule from 1830 to 1962.
Oh, okay.
The vast majority of whom departed for mainland France as soon as, yeah. So they refer to Europeans who were born there, yeah, as pied noir.
That's interesting because it's not like they're black or anything, or
yeah,
they're French. But okay, is that negative? Is that like a derogatory use?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but I remember hearing from when I was a kid, but I had forgotten exactly which one it is. I thought it was maybe the other way around even. I thought maybe they referred to people like first generation, but yeah, good thing I read it.
I thought at first you were going to say, people who are, their parents were Algerian or something.
I mean, yeah, because the thing just reminded me of that immediately. But then when I looked into the more thing and then I saw that it had like no connection to that, then I didn't look further. But good thing, double checked. I think
this concludes this week's episode of, going through history with racism. How racist are the French? This episode's topic.
But we haven't managed to reach a conclusion.
we are not sure. We are not. Please tell us if you have no more about this information. Please contact the authorities immediately.
And let them know. But okay, what do I have here?
No, we are not sure if Corsicans are racist or not, but we'll come back to you.
But Sam, okay,
Barry.
I think it's time to move. And I don't know if I want to say the show sensational or the second half of the third season is sensational. But I think when you take into consideration the way they built up from the first season, you have to say it's sensational. I mean, talk about just getting better and better and, naturally allowing this, like taking you through the storyline instead of dropping the storyline on you kind of in season one. Because I think they could have, and then went more back with all these characters or something and shown it to you maybe that way. But no, they really built it up. Everybody just coming and everybody just becoming crazy and
Yep,
reaching their, logical conclusion, kind of.
yeah. I mean, look, it's if it wasn't such a slow burn, it wouldn't work as well, I think.
Yeah,
So
perhaps.
if they just drop between them, but then again, I would add, I love like the characters are just so real. The aspect of self-sabotage that is going on in season 3, everybody just sabotaging themselves. It's just so good. It's so good. I love it. Like all of, I mean, with with our favorite with Noho Hank or whatever.
Yeah,
He's
so
the
him.
only one who grows. He's the
Yeah.
only character who grows. The rest, and maybe Mr. Crusoe a bit, but those three are just amazing. They are. I love Fionke. Fionke is the best. The part where the guy is offering his daughter to him, and
Oh
he's like,
yeah.
it's just like, yeah, my daughter thinks you're a good person. And it's just, yeah, I'm trying to be. Just within 2 minutes, he's stealing his car.
No, ridiculous. But
And man, I think this season 3, that's why I was waiting for you to finish. I think especially at the end, her performance, I
oh,
forget her name.
that's
The
all I have.
name
I have video shots. I mean, that is my favorite thing. I have
she
video
did.
screen.
She was
It's
so good.
surreal. It's surreal. I
It's
mean,
surreal. It's yeah.
when you want to kill an actor or actress, I mean, that's my tell for like, this is a good chance. This is some really good acting. Because given the chance, I would kill her in real life.
That's all right. No, that too. But to be honest, she's not actually that. I don't know. It just felt really real. Her,
Man, yeah.
like the way she gets angry about the fact that her former
Yeah.
secretary is now having a show, or the part where she's like, first put that up with the
No, we'll get to them. I just wanted to we'll get to those two. I think we could,
part where she's first, Barry's like, I can go to her. Oh my, that was, by the way, my favorite joke was when Barry was like caressing her hair and was saying, I'll just go into her room and, without her noticing, I changes things in her house. We just start making her think she's crazy. Nothing too. It was so
But hold on. So look, I think you've touched on two, like pretty much my themes and categories that I wanted to talk about. I think one is this like constant like contrast between like normalness and like craziness that the show has. Just like that scene that you were like talking about. He's just sitting next to talking very normally, but he's saying the most
dark.
insane. Yeah. Insane.
Yeah, exactly. Extremely dark things put in a very benign format. Basically.
Yeah, that too. But that way I think you said better than me. But just or like, like the streets are just normal going on, and then there's just like a wild shooting that like goes on, and like everything is normal kind of. We think about it, like the cops never see them though for some reason. It's like 3 kilometers of like doing crazy things, and then Barry will like change his shirt and go to like someone's house and have dinner with them, just constantly.
I mean, the karate thing, the taekwondo guy, that was just like they went through like 3 different areas, still like fight.
But do you think another like main theme is that like one of the writers or director or whole show is kind of making fun of, I guess there's some kind of obsession in Hollywood about like, telling the truth, and this is my story, and I'm like, who are they making fun of there? Who are they going after there? Because that's her whole thing, right? She never talks about like acting or anything, or when they were doing those in this first 2 seasons when they had the acting classes, it was never about like, this is how you improve your acting skills or anything. I know it's all about like reach into that inner part of you and get that story of yours. And, she of course claims that like, she makes a show around her story and it's about her and how she's overcome this and all this. So, I mean, I feel like they're kind of, highlighting that and mocking that and all that, because like here it's so funny. She's like, you stole my fucking story, you don't even have a daughter, and she tells her you don't have a daughter.
So funny.
Like, why this big does this? She's like, you've never struggled for a day of your life. And of course, there's some truth in that because she had like the domestic, abuse for a while in her life. But then, of course, she's like built this whole other thing around it, and she's become a insanely horrible person, in the process.
Well, I wouldn't even say she's insanely
or she's gone
horrible,
crazy, or
she
maybe
goes crazy.
this is what
a
the
couple of
scene
instances.
depicts, I think, because it goes from her
That's
talking
her
to her.
face.
Yeah, she's talking to her agent in a bright room, and then she just starts going crazy and goes back into here darkness. So I think this means she's gone like, crazy and dark. And after this, she actually calls Barry and tells Barry, like, you remember how you told me you can, kill and scare at people? Can you do it on this one? I actually liked her for a moment when she told Barry, like, get out, you're insane. That was like a good moment. It seemed like I was like, it's like good that she realized. But then she flipped back.
I know I am very fucked up, but I must say, I really like, it was a bit of a surprise to me when she was get out, you're fucked up, because I was like, oh my God, that would be such a great partner to have, like somebody who can like break into people's houses. And like, I don't know. I think it would be very useful. I have no problem with using underhanded methods to get what I want. So I'm just saying, but they
don't seem to work though.
Well, you never know. I mean, you can.
Guys, baby Sam is driving me crazy with this over a 5-year period.
But I mean, look, the thing about, Voice Crack did a video on Barry, and they say that it's about change and how change is extremely difficult for people to change and to grow. Because characters in this are constantly repeating and self-sabotaging. But you're right. I think it's making fun of this idea of a truth and your truth.
Exactly. But I don't know from which angle they're really going from it, because it's not like it has nothing to do with like the misinformation kind of like angle of truth. It's like a little bit different. I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it touches on that too, but amazing stuff. And then go ahead.
The worst thing about great shows though is that they usually have like now Barry's gonna go to prison, I guess, or something.
No, you don't know. He could.
They caught him.
Yeah, but still, it could like fall apart. It could be something. Man, Barry like died an episode earlier. He got poisoned and died, but like he's still here.
No, he didn't die. They wanted to like he kept you alive though. The guy, he said, I couldn't kill you in the end.
No, that guy, that guy couldn't exactly. He keeps on getting lucky, but the lady tried to kill him, I'm pretty sure.
No, the lady was working with that guy. The lady didn't like poison him because she was working on her own though. The lady was working with that guy. Oh, like they knew, but I'm guessing.
Okay, I thought they were all set up differently. I thought she tried to kill him, and then he didn't. If I recall from the scene, he doesn't die from being poisoned. He wakes up, and then the guy
in the car.
But in the car, where there's so he's dreaming the part where he's walking, but I thought he still woke up and he got caught somewhere else.
Oh.
I thought maybe, but in any case, it all comes back to the same thing, like him getting extremely lucky, right? Like the guy blows his own, like the guy kills himself instead of Barry, right? So, but they could wrap it up in season 4 and there he could come out. I don't know. I think they can do anything they want with it still.
Fair enough.
And man, but this other go ahead, because this is another one of my favorite scenes that just shows the ridiculousness. So this guy has come here to kill him, and he's actually verifying on his phone whether this is the right guy. And he's arguing with somebody on the other side of the car. It's like, is it him? I can't tell. Is it? Which then leads to this. Man, did they close the highway for this scene? It was spectacular.
It was very well done. I assume it was done on.
And what, they hire all these cars?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's HBO. Still, they have some money to put around.
But I don't know, the early scenes though, he's going like, it's just such like an early normal like highway. And then after that, there's the part where they're all parked and it's just like. That's the other thing that's amazing with this show. You rarely see like such high quality, amazing, really like some best level action, you know,
and it's
scenes included in a
fucking
TV show just like that.
the best thing is fucking grimy as fuck. I
Mm.
hate these modern like blockbusters. Everything is so clean and
Oh yeah,
everything is so neat. All the cars are perfect. In this, you see like it's feels like real life. Everything is a bit incomplete. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you know, it's amazing.
No, great
But
show. So many
I
amazing stuff.
fucking love it.
And I love how he always uses like his phone is always connected to the to the car's like system. So he just like speaks like so casually on like loudspeaker.
Yeah.
It gets like the funniest phone calls.
By the way, man, Bill Hader, the guy who wrote and acts in this and stuff, he has this amazing.
Which one is he? Acts in it?
Huh?
He acts in it?
Barry.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
okay. Shit, he wrote it
Yeah.
also? Wow.
Yeah, he directed a lot of episodes too. He's
Wow.
amazing, man. He's a genius. He has this another show, by the way, with Fred Armisen. I think it's been it's canceled now or something. Documentary now. That was genuinely like one of the funniest TV shows ever made. Each episode, like I mean, I know you're not into like cinema or anything, but each episode they take a documentary format and they make fun of it. It's only 20 minutes. Like they may, I mean, you don't know
That
most
sounds
of
funny.
it, but it's so good. It's so like it's so like high end good, you know, the
Yeah.
level of jokes, like the level of directing. They're imitating all these different directorial style. He like he's just a genius, man.
Wow,
I
it
think
sounds
he's a
really
fucking
good.
genius. Yeah.
But he hasn't had, I
They-
guess, yeah. He hasn't had a big movie around him yet or something, no?
Yeah, that's one with what Christian Wiig. Christian Wiig, the one a skeleton siblings or what was it? There he's playing a sibling, and he got good reviews for that. But no, he hasn't had a movie, sort of a big movie.
Yeah,
Oh, he
based
was
on.
in Superbad. He was you remember the cop?
Oh yeah, of course, of course. But I mean, exactly. Like, I mean, now he's you know, they should have like a super bad around
Yeah.
him. But although maybe those movies aren't as in
That's
anymore, so
That's true.
But they
Well,
couldn't.
yeah, maybe on Netflix or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah,
amazing.
go to that picture of his. I love that line from the whole.
Which one? Oh yeah. So I skipped all that. So you sent that. So, yeah.
I love this line.
So what? Jude Law.
Mr. Corseca.
So that's his acting teacher, right? Yeah, too funny.
You say it back. Oh man, I love. The part where you know in episode 2, beginning of episode 2, where they're sitting in the makeup room and Barry's just sitting like that, and they're giving Mr. Corso his like lines and stuff, and he says, "What do we say, Mr. Corso? Thank you." I'm loving. Thank you for.
No, that it's
Amazing.
obsessive. That poor guy. I mean, that guy was, not the best guy himself either, but damn, I don't think he...
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, no. His wife, man, he loved his wife. Poor
his
wife.
girlfriend, yeah.
Oh, was it his girlfriend? I thought it was his wife because they
cop?
had a kid as well. Yeah, the cop.
No, they didn't have a kid with the cop.
Oh yeah, you're right. The kid
Yeah.
was from a different.
Yeah, he had
marriage. Yeah.
abandoned his son, exactly. Like he was never. That's his thing. He tries to reunite with his son. Yeah. No, yeah. But yeah, tremendous show. I guess season 4 will be out in a year or so.
Yeah.
But man, this is my favorite though. I watched this whole thing because then she also films an apology over this. And in the apology, she says, "For my perceived aggression." Perceived. And then she calls her the C word. And because of that, she goes in the whole thing about saying how the C word in Europe, not even in UK, in Europe, it's not seen badly. People speak English in Europe.
No, she was so funny. It's used among the women as a, you're a comrade. It's a term of endearment. It was so funny.
And then I love, she's like, and then of course she's talking to her agent after here, or like, saying all these things to agent, like as if she is like some superstar. So and the agent's like, "I'm gonna have to drop you." Like as if she's like Brad Pitt or something.
Yeah, exactly.
The agent
Oh
just like
man.
casually like say, okay. Although she was a good agent, she tried to help her out or
She
her
was very nice
yeah.
agent, yeah, relatively speaking. But yeah, what
Yeah.
a show, what a show.
Okay, Sam, let's go. Let's move on to Yuval Noah Harari. So most people are kind of familiar with him, and he has his book called Sapiens, and he has another book as well. So, last time we kind of gave our overall take. I told you, how my approach is, approaching in a book that kind of tells a story, at least the book Sapiens, it would be impossible for someone to know that much or having done that much research and knowing all those topics and putting a book. And of course, he
Yeah,
doesn't even pretend that he really got them from somewhere because there are no citations. But then you told me
well,
more
he
about
does
him, how he's
pretend.
also turned into this cult kind of figure and stuff. And yeah, you're right, actually. He does pretend. But to someone who knows that to actually pretend, you're gonna at least put some fake citations or like
Yeah, yeah,
some
well,
citations in there. So in that
no,
sense, he
no,
doesn't even pretend.
Norm
But
Finkelstein wouldn't be happy.
yeah, he wouldn't see that as even him pretending. He'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah, nice book of fiction. I think he would have the same.
yeah. Can I use it to balance my chair?
But yeah, and then you told me more about him apparently turning into like, this big respected figure, and he has his own foundation. And someone pointed out that he's like an advisor to like the WEF.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what he advises on, like history, like bedtime stories. Like, what does he advise you on?
Exactly. No, that's he's a fairy tale teller. He tells you fairy tales, and that's the thing. I found a couple of quotes. I didn't bother to go through the book, but I found a couple of quotes from the Goodreads website that I thought highlights what I hated.
Yeah.
Because I forget about
And,
citation, all that.
and sorry, Rigo. And since we've
No, no.
actually done it for once, let's mention that we've both given this book a good try to read it. So
Yeah, yeah,
the
for sure. Yeah,
Sapiens, yeah.
both Homo sapiens and the one I'm quoting from,
Oh,
the
okay,
Homo
nice.
Deus. Do you know what's, by the way, Deus means, or Dux or Deus, whatever?
Two?
No, no.
Hmm.
Well, no, it means God in Greek.
Ah,
And this is, by the way, this is a divergent. Let me know if people want to know more about this. But I have this theory that there is a complete differentiation between the concept of Deus and concept of God. Because I feel like God, by the way, has the same root as Khoda, which we use in Persian.
mm-hmm.
We use Khoda. We never say in Persian. Nobody ever says Allah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Arabic cultures and in Southern European cultures, and even Northern European cultures, if you look at in literature in the past, like God was, Deus, or God or whatever, was somebody put against Allah. They were two
Mm.
different. Yahweh was a different God. These were different gods fighting each other. But
Yeah.
yeah. But I feel like the concept of Deus is more connected to metaphysics and
Mm.
Greek things, and I feel the concept of God is more connected to the sort of Indo-European idea of a God as a man thing. So yeah, I mean,
I see. I
that was
follow.
it.
I see
Has
what you're
nothing to
saying.
do.
No. But
Yeah.
that was. I see what you mean. But in Greek though, they have like multiple gods, right? It's not like one god, right? In in
Oh,
like
no, no. They
right.
yeah, in the Greek, no. They have multiple, yeah, many
But
gods. Deus. I mean, I don't know what is the root of Deus, but how I know the term Deus means God is Deus ex machina. Have you heard that term, Deus ex machina?
perhaps maybe it kind of rings a bell. Maybe a random
I'm
movie.
sure you've heard of the movie Ex Machina.
No, that for sure. No.
I'm sure. Well, I'll show you a picture. The movie. But in storytelling or in movies, when you have ex machina, Deus ex machina is when you have like suddenly hand of God coming in and helping the character to come out of, and it's usually a cheap trick. It's usually not a good thing,
Mm.
but you use. So that's how I know Deus means God. But I forget. I forget. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it doesn't mean the God. It means
Yeah.
God. With a small capital. Not capitalized. So
And yeah, I mean, in Arabic they use the word Allah, but you were saying that Okay, but like yeah.
Yeah, in Farsi it's much more. Yeah, always been much more, because I think nothing, again, not because Iranians are good or anything, it was because it was in the middle of everywhere, so they had to adopt, like, so yeah, there was never a, concept of a Allah against,
Other
God, or against
other god, yeah, this. Okay, I see, I see.
Yahweh. You know what I mean?
Interesting. I was trying to wrap my head around what you were saying. I see.
Like if you read Jewish literature, for example, Old Testaments, right? Yahweh, the God of the Jews, right? He's against the God of the Egyptians. Like they have to,
Mm,
like you have to, I'm the right one, he's the shitty one, and you have to go end that shitty one. But in Persian stuff, it's always been like, all the gods are the same. It's all kind of like bullshit liberalism, like, oh, what do you mean by God? You know? Mm.
I see, I see. I think the
In the
one part though
literature,
that
in the
yeah,
literature.
yeah. But I think one part that really caught my attention what you were saying, I think like I feel like Deuce when they like it's associated with like having maybe a lot of gods. I don't know, I'm just kind of saying this now. Whereas like in Islam and all this, there's always like one God. So I mean they would not use that word. So that word perhaps that is why it's not used at all in that context. Because I thought that's where you were going with it at first.
Oh, maybe no. But interesting. That's a good point. Maybe that's more correct. My point was more like, yeah. Anyway, but
Yeah.
that's a whole
Okay.
different thing.
Let's come
Yeah,
back
maybe we should. You all know Harry. I should do a separate video. But yeah, my main problem with, I mean, even lack of citation, because I've read a lot of works that I like that are not
Mhm.
scientific. If you want truth, by the way, you have to look at unscientific things at some point, because science has its own limits, or citation at least has its own limits. But
Yeah.
I think the stuff he pissed me off about was more common sense nonsense things
Mhm.
he was writing about, and I found two quotes that I think really exemplifies this, and I don't necessarily even disagree with what he's trying to say, but whatever. So I think this is very interesting because he's talking about a specific thing now. So listen to this. Terrorists are like a fly that tries to destroy a china shop. The fly is so weak that it cannot budge even a single teacup. So it finds a bull, gets inside its ear, and it starts buzzing. The bull goes wild with fear and anger and destroys the china shop. This is what happened in the Middle East in the last decade. Islamic fundamentalists could never topple Saddam Hussein by themselves. Instead, they enraged the USA by 9/11 attacks, and the US destroyed the Middle Eastern China shop for them. I mean, the level of just simplicity and I mean, the use of analogy is idiotic. And then this is what happened in Middle East in the last decade. Really, this is what happened. The terrorists were trying to get rid of Saddam Hussein, so they basically they I don't know, they tempted the US to attack, or was it that maybe there are there are structural reasons for things to happen? History is not. I mean, it's so stupid.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
so stupid, but but this is the exact thing that gets people our
it's
parents'
speechless.
age, like, oh wow, he's such a good.
I don't
Oh
even
my
know
God,
about
this is so right. Our parents' age, not our
yeah.
parents. I think our parents are slightly better than average, but
Because I mean, why even like why even this analogy, right? Like the China shop. Like what is that? Like yeah. I mean, I guess you would say because everything is fragile in the China shop and everything is fragile in the Middle East. Then
a
if you
bull in a
actually
China
say
shop
that,
is a bull in a China shop is an established sort of a expression,
yeah, but
right? They
why
say
that
he's
though?
like a
Like,
bull in a.
but why would that make
Well, he's
sense with the Middle East analogy?
well
That's what I
he's
mean.
trying to say he's trying to say that these guys like US, they you know they got US angry for a purpose that US did not understand, for a purpose of their own. US was just a pawn in the game of the terror. Like, Islamic
Wow.
fundamentalists, famously, they are huge strategists. All of them are hugely smart, very,
Yeah.
very. I mean, very well read, all of that. So they were playing the long game.
Yeah.
They were, fooling people like Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney didn't want to go to Iraq. Dick Cheney didn't want to get the bonus.
Yeah.
It's not about material things. It's about ideas and blah, 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 blah. I
And
mean,
forgetting
this is
about the
passion.
connection about how, different types of Islamic terrorists were anyway linked and
Yeah,
funded and
exactly.
associated with the
Let's
US.
forget about
And
that.
secondly, like, I think, like, I mean, maybe they would have wanted a reaction. Of course, fine, I'll take that Osama bin Laden stuff, a lot of people say they wanted a reaction for the US to attack, but wasn't their bet that they would attack Afghanistan, right? They didn't even, like, they weren't linked to
No, they
Saddam Hussein or Iraq or all this. They were all in Afghanistan. Like, Al Qaeda was in Afghanistan, if I recall things correctly.
Yes, I mean, we get to that, by the way, when we talk about Vanguard and Vaush, because the level of just historical understanding is just too deep in that video. But yeah, no, Taliban was based in Afghanistan, and Saddam Hussein famously was very much a nationalist and uh, anti-religious,
Yeah.
anti any really. I mean, they say at the end of his administration, he was trying to appeal to Sunni sort of communities and that type of thing. But overall, he was he was a secular. He was a
But yeah,
Ba'athist
and my whole
nationalist.
point though is
So
that the
yeah,
whole, like,
it's not.
terrorism and all this and Al Qaeda and all these people were linked to Afghanistan and not,
Well, that's
like,
what he's saying
ISIS and
though.
all this
Look,
came in
that's
way
kind of
after
he's
though.
agreeing with you. No, but he's agreeing with you. He's saying that Middle East is this sort of a box. It's this black box for America. You
Yeah.
don't understand it.
No, but he's
And
saying
then,
that the
like, you
terrorists were
didn't
so sharp
understand.
though that they understood, like, they thought, like, yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure the
They
US is
knew
gonna then go attack Iraq.
exactly, or attack a different. Like, America is not gonna react in a reasonable way. But this is not explained. America is a bull, you see. This is not explained through the. I mean, it's childish because it's not acknowledging the American interest in America that wanted to go to
Yeah.
Iraq anyway. It's not. It's not by the way citing any of, for example, Taliban or even Al Qaeda leaders that, like, this is our long lasting plan to get America engaged, so in 30 years then they leave or whatever. So it's just nonsense. But it does. But if you look at things at a very grand scale, it can work as a very nice analogy,
Yeah.
right? So it's a good story.
Yeah,
As you said,
because they poked at them, and the idea that they, like, they attacked. This is, yeah, commonly said, this narrative that they attacked 9/11.
By the way, I don't want to.
Used to attack.
I want to be clear. I don't want to be as reductionist or as simplistic as this guy in my analysis. I don't want to say some American companies having interest in invasion was all there was, or American government is the most imperialistic bad government in the world. That's not all there was to it, but it was not also this simplistic as US being a bull and fooled by terrorists into attacking like Saddam Hussein, and now terrorists have achieved their plans. So yeah, it's idiotic.
Yes,
beyond idiotic, frankly.
Let's read the second one.
Yeah. Second one is a bit more highlighting. I think you can see here how he appeals to boomer generation, Generation X type thing with his word. This is more getting into his guru-ness and all that. So listen to this. Just as the gap between religion and science is narrower than we commonly think, so the gap between religion and spirituality is much wider. Religion is a deal, whereas a spirituality is a journey. Okay, can somebody explain?
Hold on, read that again, please. Just as the
gap between religion and science is narrower than we commonly think.
Okay.
Which is, I kind of, in my heart, I kind of agree with that, but I need more explanation because I'm not one of those people who think science is like, what you mean, religion, science, I wish people use the word ideology more than these terms. Anyway, so the gap between religion and spirituality is much wider. So what he's saying is this common thing that people, especially post like 1970s, says that you don't have to be religious, but you can be spiritual.
Yeah.
You can feel for your fellow human being. You can feel for the Geist world. The whole world is one organism, Kamir. Did you know that? The whole world is connected. We are all connected. If a
Yeah.
butterfly, oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But although the religion and science one, like, I can see what he means. Sure, you can be dogmatic with science and believe in that. But still, I mean, I think the difference is just like an application and what they are and their history and stuff is, no, I don't think it's narrower than we think, unless you're really one of these people who is like so on the dogmatic side of science. Then that's a problem with his saying, though. And then so the gap, yeah, exactly. That's the problem. You can interpret kind of whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Because I would say for a long time, until like Enlightenment probably, or 18th century, whatever, Industrial Revolution would be the best probably thing. Religion for many countries was like the law as well as the scientific. You know what I mean? It depends on what time,
what
depends on what religion, and science in many cases can be ideology. But science, if we define science as accepting of like what is the overwhelming evidence saying right now, but it can change tomorrow, yeah, of course, then the gap is very huge. Wide.
Yeah.
But when it's such vague terms put in such vague sentences, but you see what I mean about
and understand. And then the second part,
religion is a deal, whereas spirituality is a journey. What the fuck are you?
I don't even know what that means. Religion is a deal. I don't know.
He's saying like religion is a deal, as in you. Like religion offers
take it or leave it.
No. Offered like you do these rituals, you get into heaven. Spirituality is a journey of inner self or whatever. I don't believe in inner self or soul, so I think all of this is. I prefer religion to spirituality in many ways. I think religion at least they have some fucking standards. Spirituality is just fucking bullshit. I believe in spirits, but I believe love is out there. Oh, fuck off. You go fuck yourselves.
But this is just total jibber jabber. But I was thinking. By the way,
just one more thing. I'm a big fan of like people like Alan Watts. He's somebody who is a semi-philosopher influenced by Eastern philosophy and all that. But he doesn't pretend he's doing history or science. He presents his ideas as philosophy and as ideas and that type of shit. Sorry.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's also the thing. But I was just also thinking, why boomers and stuff are so attracted to him. I think the boomer generation, but also now, I mean, it's always an obsession. It's a fun obsession. It's a good one.
Or Generation X, I would say as well.
No, but also like that period of people, and maybe Generation X too, they really love, the fact that like now with science we can understand the past and the history, and anything that you tell them about like humanity and nature and this kind of thing, they love it. They eat that stuff up. So Sapiens is like a book that tells you from the get-go like where we come from and like our brains and what we did and what we did. Yeah, maybe we all love that.
I find it with our generation too. Like as soon as you give people a simpler, like, did you know why lizards are eating mice? Because when lizards were 3,000 years ago, once they were attacked by mice, and now all of one of these.
Yeah, everybody loves these kind of things.
Yeah, like so. I don't know if it's a boomer thing even. I think it's just a general. But I've seen many people of our own generation.
Yeah, and he connects to nature. I mean, like his
exactly.
things can stand.
Have you seen dogs when they do that? And that's just like, isn't that just like when you go shopping?
No, but he also has this one, that he says, this one thing. He's like, he's like, actually, like, the biggest change that we've managed to make to the planet didn't have to do with like the Industrial Revolution or like the level of agriculture nowadays and stuff. It's initially when like humans made it to Australia and like they burnt down a lot of the land in order to do like agriculture. That is actually like the first like biggest time we like completely changed like the land and all that. So I mean, he says like such like big things like this. I wish I had that quote, but he's he's just trying to say like, yeah, back then, like the way we change influence, we don't know about this.
And he might be right. It's kind of, he might be right in a sense that it's really interesting. That reminds me, do you remember Neil Ferguson, the historian?
Yes.
Who I kind of liked, who writes about the British Empire. What he says, Neil Ferguson is a right-wing conservative. He's now pretty bad, really. His Henry Kissinger biography was awful. But anyway, he argues that, for example, you ignore 400 years of Muslim rule in North Africa, you focus on 100 or 200 years of European imperialism, and you put everything down to European imperialism, and that's wrong, and that's blah, blah, blah. And that, in a way, there is a truth to that. But at the same time, let's not forget, when do we live right now? We are living in 21st century. Industrial revolution had far more impact on us than the burning of the trees, or even the comet hitting the earth and destroying dinosaurs, which was the most, you know what I mean? They try to, there are facts there are facts that are very important, but continuity and the causation between, for example, the recent European empires and the economic structures they put has more to do with the poverty in North Africa than the Islamic empires. That doesn't mean the Islamic empires don't have an influence. The past, I mean, the past that was North Africa was colonized, let's say, by Arabs. I'm not saying that doesn't have influence to this day, but that is not the same as the current and immediate past. So I think that's
very well put.
You know what I mean?
No. That is great. That's a really good point. Because exactly that. Like, I think that was both a good thing, because you're presenting like previous events kind of equally. Otherwise, you're kind of talking as if they're like equally impact, especially currently, like our lives right now. But they don't anymore, because their scale can be different, but they can also just be so much older that, of course, the systems that were put into place 100, 200 years ago are much more relevant to today's situation. Exactly. Then like I mean, very, 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 very well put. I like what you're saying, and apply to that one as well. Although if Hariri, perhaps he didn't make such a claim, but
I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Fuck you. I'm just gonna get too big for my own shoes. No, the way you put it was actually perfect. Scale and time. These two things are extremely important. You can't just, everything matters. Everything as butterfly effect, whatever. Everything is important, of course, and nobody can, foretell the future or whatever. But there are factors we can say are more important than others,
I think, out of everything that we got out of these two like quotes, I think like, he plays the beautiful trick of like simplicity and having grains of truth in everything,
half
right?
Truths.
Or like
half truths are worse than lies. Seriously, I mean, it's
or like things that happen and then showing, presenting them as like directly correlated and like caused. Also, there's a little bit of that trick in it,
and simplifying. People love things to be simple. That's the
and the analogy, and that people love analogies. I mean,
but
he's skilled.
I doubt, from interviews I've seen from him, I don't think he's a disingenuous guy, really. I think he's the type of guy who, if he didn't write this stuff, he would have bought this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I see.
Just from the interviews I've seen, that's the feeling I get. Maybe I'm wrong.
Got you. Nice. Anything else from Harari?
No, I feel like I've been milked very well.
All right, let's just wrap up with two little comments here that I want to share regarding Kyle's sandals. So Kyle, we got a bit of backlash. So we made fun of Kyle.
Somebody said that they bought it for their 5-year-old. I think that's not.
Is that person making fun?
Oh,
Is this person? Yeah, exactly. I couldn't tell if they were joking or
no,
not.
for children it's fine, man. My nephew is 5 or sorry,
Yeah.
my nephew is 7 now. But my nephew has a similar, like, because they're kids,
Yeah.
it's not about like,
But,
they're not going to fucking Met Gala or something. You just
Yes,
give them
and then he said it's beachwear. But Kyle, he wasn't standing like on the beach with that too, right? They were at a beach resort, right? But you could tell like this was like the dinner portion and all this, right? So you don't need to wear your water shoes when you go and also have, and they how ridiculous they look. But fair enough.
Look. No, I disagree with that. I would say you can wear, like slippers or something.
Slippers, yes, but not sandal water shoes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Like, even in the dinner portion, this is oh my.
Yeah.
Like,
because these are water shoes, true, fine. So you don't slip or if they have pebbles or something. I understand. Some beaches you want to wear.
Why don't you just wear flip-flops like the one that Crystal wore? Even the female.
Exactly. No, because the water would take that. The water would take that. But of course, Crystal was wearing that. Why? Because it was the dinner portion. That was my point. They're no longer at the beach.
I don't understand.
Okay, you can't go with that sandal and the one that Crystal was wearing. You can't go with that in the water. You'll lose it in 2 seconds.
Well, you're not supposed to go into water, which you take them.
No, these are water shoes. I think that's the point. I think that's what he's saying.
Oh my God,
they're water shoes
into the water.
I think so. That's at least what
you don't. Oh no. My! He swims with shoes on.
No, like no. You know what I talked about? Like
I'm sorry, but
at the beach when I was saying no. Hold on.
I'm gonna say it.
I kept on saying Corseca is much better than Nice. Because Nice, they have little pebbles, right? Like on their beach. Pebbles, so it's horrible to walk with your feet. You would actually want to wear like some kind of shoes. So it's not like a sandy beach. Do you get what I mean? So I thought, okay, maybe if Kyle is at that kind of beach. Even
on a pebble, man, I was in UK and UK, all the beaches were pebble. And nobody wore this shit.
Kids put them
do. You put maybe kids, 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds, not the adults, man, with a girlfriend and like a show and a life. I'm gonna say this, but I'm very sorry. I'm sorry to I don't mean this in any. I kind of mean this in some disrespect, I guess. But this is white trash. This is beyond white trash.
I don't know what to say that.
With shoes, going to water with shoes. I barely wear a swimsuit.
You know what? You know what's probably worse though? You know what's probably worse?
I'm joking. I'm
sorry. No, let me tell you what's worse. Kyle doesn't go in the water with these. He might not wear them to the beach. These might actually be like, the shoes that he got to go visit around the town and go to dinner and breakfast.
I'm going to dinner with Crystal tonight. I'm going to put
her
my
parents are going to be there.
Oh my God, her parents.
But listen,
but
I think more people might still get upset because, hold on. Okay, shit, I can't have to do this. Because, let me just bring this here. Sorry about this, guys. Only because, Jake Johnson wrote that. Damn, I kind of like those. So I thought, hey, to each their own.
To each their own, yeah.
Teto.
I wouldn't even be anti those sandals. I would be specifically anti taking pictures with those. Like I have a lot of shit that I genuinely I believe most people shouldn't know about, right? I share one of them. I still play with toy guns. I spend like half of my day going pew 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 pew, but I don't take pictures and put it on my fucking Instagram page.
Twitter. He doesn't have Instagram. I think he said he hasn't been on Instagram.
Yeah, you're right, Ethan.
One of a kind.
Just maybe like when you take pictures, just sometimes for comfort you do things that you don't want to like be recorded in pictures.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
No, I feel you. I feel
Ah,
you. But okay, all right. Well, thank you for that, Kyle. Hope we didn't offend too many people. I wouldn't go as far as Sam was saying because I see all people everywhere kind of wearing these in the appropriate scenario, which is either you're a kid or fine. You're a bit of a
kid,
wuss. You're a bit of a wuss,
I was
and
the
you want
one. I
no
was
because
the one who originally said kids are okay. So
yeah,
don't put, yeah.
because I bought like a pair that looks more like what like the scuba divers would put in their foot before they put like the flappy things, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it looks a bit slicker. I got them in case we're going to beaches that needed them, but they didn't need them. But yeah, I mean, of course, you wouldn't catch me hanging out for 1 second more.
Do you have
That
any
would
pictures
possibly
of
be
that?
required or
Any
definitely.
pictures of your feet in that?
But in general, though, I mean, since we're going there, like sandals, like people don't wear sandals anymore in general. I think it's
Except kids.
commonly held, even the non-water ones, you know what I mean? That
It's a commonly held belief that sandals make you look like a douchebag. Yeah.
I
That's
mean, you find still some boomers here and there on
yeah, with
holiday,
socks.
like the ones who are allowed to do whatever they want. Like they don't need to have an iPhone. They can have a camera this big around their shoulder. Like,
Yeah,
their wife
with a
lets them
fanny
whatever they want.
pack.
Yeah.
Fanny pack.
They've earned those rights over 40 years.
I have worked for 20 years to earn this. A fanny pack and sandals with socks.
Still wearing the t-shirt from their college days that, it's like the
Yeah,
only t-shirt that
Hawaii.
they love. Yeah. Means
They
a
went
lot to
Hawaii
them.
once. You're being such an. But Kylie's not. That's the weirdest thing. Kylie's not 75 years
No.
old. So I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, he decided to adopt, as a 31-year-old, he decided to stick to the fashion of the late 90s, which is what 75-year-olds kind of wear nowadays. So.
Yeah, it's so weird, man. I
But
mean,
hey, I'm terrible too. I must absolutely say so. As soon as people find pictures of me, they can
look,
say
man,
the
we
same.
might not be good, but this is like a different level.
All right, Sam. Now we're back with our, traditional Rising segment. We keep on saying
Yes.
we don't watch Rising anymore. We don't like Rising anymore. There's like
They
5
cover
Rising
all the
videos.
important. The thing is, all the other news stuff on progressive
Yeah.
stuff. But we are not gonna watch fucking CNN or Fox or MSNBC. Those bullshit.
Yeah.
But they all cover niche issues. But Rising covers fucking everything for 2 seconds. So it's just perfect for. And it's so
No,
much
you're
fun.
absolutely right.
It's just fun.
Yeah, right. Do you have your microphone, by the way, on you?
No.
No, you're right. You're right. They do cover everything, so you kind of get your news from Rising as well. But yeah,
at least they're not. I mean, we criticize these people all the time for fun, but seriously, they are much better than anybody.
Course.
Yeah.
Of course. So yeah,
caveat.
What caught your attention this week, or before getting into that, what are your overall thoughts on what you're watching this week and the Rising?
My main
Kim,
overall thought.
Katie here.
Oh well, Kim, but I must say, but I checked one of our viewers. I forgot to mention that in viewers' comment. One of our viewers, I think Bobby, was it Bobby or Jared or somebody? Anyway, pointed out that if you look at Kim's views, you can see the difference between how Kim and like how important Kim was to the heel. And I looked at the views. It's definitely true. Kim was having like her live premiere was having like way more views than the hill. Like she was in thousands, they were in hundreds. So that's a definitely good. Yeah, that's a better probably priority. That's a better. Sorry, that's a better factor to count in than subscribers.
For sure. Indicator, let's say. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, indicator, you're right. But this week's my biggest thing was like I'm like you see how people say money is not powerful. money has made Katie take a shower, brush her hair and all that. One of her parents is like a psychologist, psychiatrist, I think. Like they couldn't like do it. I bet her parents have been talking to her about this for years.
Jesus Christ, but yeah, different Katie showed up on set, or once she showed up there. I don't know, one or the other. The makeup team ambushed her,
they attacked.
Put a garbage bag over her head, took her to a different facility, and then brought her back.
I believe they renditioned her to Tunisia, where it's legal to put a makeup on a woman. But I must say, I prefer her old hair better. Her hair is
I don't know about that, but I just thought it was funny, different looks. But hey, once you're in studio, though, you gotta look different.
Okay. I'm the only person who every morning spends probably more time on his hair and his looks than fucking what do you call our makeup artist would.
Oh my God.
I always feel like I'm in a studio.
Yeah, and that's why Bobby, like, once he wrote, like, Kam looks like he spent so much time on his hair and all that. I was like, actually, Bobby, some of your other things have been accurate, but I swear this is just 3 seconds. Sam, although he looks like
it's to be fair, it has to do with genetics
and hairstyle, 100%. Yeah.
No, man, curly hair, normal hair.
Curly hair is, it looks nice for sure, but it looks like it can be more work. I'll give you that. That's for sure.
It doesn't look nice.
I said it can.
Doesn't look.
It can. Anything can.
Oh, it can. But straight hair is so much better. I wish I had one of those Japanese hairs when they go in front of their eyes like that, like natural emo hair. That's what I want. But
I used to have that look a little bit when I was younger, but not in that way. But because mine still curled up, but it would still curl up right at this point. Yeah. It curled. I didn't curl it up.
No, you went into 3 Japanese first.
Yeah, if I do one of those DNA tests, a little bit of Japan.
Hey, my hair is actually not too bad today. Yeah, the worst thing is when it's like slightly gets dry.
Yeah,
it goes Kramer and it goes up. I hate that. I look like a Street Fighter character. The one with the hair like that.
Although Kramer rocks that hairstyle.
He does.
I mean, he owns everything, no, but Kramer, like,
he owns, his personality. I don't have that personality.
Well, I guess he owned everything until the end. And at the end, one thing happened that took him down, but that was different. That was
not Kramer. That was the Michael Richards who played Kramer.
Very good point.
I like to differentiate.
Man, I'm telling you, sometimes I stop seeing the difference between the actor and the role they're playing.
I think in case of Kramer, you may be right.
But yeah, okay. Any other general comments you would like to make between we get into these videos and maybe talk a bit more about ideas? As someone told us, someone for the Kyle video, he's like, you guys spent 7 minutes talking about sandals instead of ideas. I was like, wow, this guy did. Yeah, I was like, ideas. You're taking it a bit too far, but maybe something substantial every now and then with ideas. What ideas?
What do you think? Who do you think we are? We don't have any ideas.
Yeah, we can talk about the news if you want or something.
This happened, guys. I've heard this happen. That's ideas. Yeah, that's the wrong place for that. But I would say that I think we can now go to Emily Jashinsky video, or one of the. I felt, first of all, I feel really bad for Robbie. I like to say that.
but like, okay, but Robbie, I mean, but which one? We have so many. They all
maybe
have
just play this part. Maybe just play this part.
Okay, but this one. So this one, do we need to tell the content or not yet? Like what the video is about? So this is the
I don't think
one.
No. Yeah, I don't think. No, I'm just my sorrow for Robbie.
Okay.
Because again, I disagree with him politically. It seems 100%, but I feel like Robbie may be the only normal person on the hill.
So here, yeah,
Like,
this is literally the last 30 seconds, guys, that we're playing for you.
Mixed endorsement.
People will call us rabid ideologues in some.
Oh,
some
but I
sense.
own that. I own that.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what Rufo's doing.
Yeah.
I'm just a fair, objective, down-the-middle journalist with no biases.
landing in my lap, as opposed to he's clearly looking for the most provocative things that he can find that we don't even know if they're being used. So.
Oh, that was good.
Landing in my lap, as opposed
that
to.
was good. Hold on.
Robbie, this is a mixed endorsement.
People will call us rabid ideologues in some.
Oh, but
sense.
I own that. I own that.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what Rufo's doing.
Yeah.
I'm just a fair, objective, down-the-middle journalist with no biases.
Landing in my lap, as opposed to he's clearly looking for the most provocative things that he can find that we don't even know if they're being used. So.
Well, check them out for yourselves. They're available on his.
That was a good one. Eh? That can be a jam, and everybody also works at the Rising.
which one? The
one about I'm a journalist, down the middle facts.
Yeah. That's no. He's so good. And my point wasn't even about the content of my point. Did you see? He wanted the joke to work. He looked into the camera, waiting for, and she just doesn't care. She just railed over it. Like, I feel so bad for Robbie. Like every time he tries to make a joke or a snarky comment, like, because that's what life is about. It's not about what you believe or
you're right,
what
though.
is your, it's about making some jokes and people laughing at it. And then Katie's just railing over, and Robbie's like, you should. If Ryan
that was really funny though, and also like, but you're right. That was really funny, and Katie just spoke all over it while he was saying it. But it was also like, because at the Rising, they're all like, especially Brie and stuff, like, oh, look, we're like very objective truth and everything that we say.
I'm doing the radar. I'm gonna change the world.
So it was a good jab at them. But this whole video, Katie actually, there's like a minute going on here where Katie's just like talking over
him.
I don't know what happened, kind of like us. But he was trying to end, which she was making her jokes. But this whole video,
by the way,
I would actually,
before
we can touch on it though.
The whole video. I know. Before that, I would like to point out, maybe this video, maybe, I don't know this. I'm just guessing here, right? Maybe this video really touched me on a personal level, because sometimes I make jokes or I make snarky comments, and maybe sometimes somebody who I really I share at least job for now doesn't notice that, and maybe they should, I'm just saying,
listen,
not anything as specific, but I'm just saying, learn from other people's mistake. That would be such a good idea, right? Fair
enough. But in my defense, I'm not busy telling my own jokes. I just don't get your jokes at times, so I don't find them funny.
But that's even worse. Okay.
But that doesn't happen every time.
Okay. All right.
To be fair.
No, I'm sure.
But
Anyway.
fair enough.
Go back to substance.
No, I'm actually, my comment wasn't about substance. It was no, but it related to the topic, which is that, of course, here with this New York Post headline, we can kind of get the idea of this video. So Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says doctors who operate on minors with gender dysphoria need to get sued, right? So the whole video, though, like the back and forth between them, I don't know if you realized, is that Katie just wanted to make the point over and over again that although there might be like some things, okay, not like, maybe they shouldn't be getting sued, right? Maybe that shouldn't be the solution, right? Maybe, but things like this that we should talk about, and it is something that should be talked about, and it shouldn't be like taboo to talk about this. So that's like the topic. And then what's his name? Robbie tried to stick to the topic, and he was like, yeah, the topic is like, it's interesting, we should talk about, and this and that. And Katie nonstop just wanted to make the point that Ron DeSantis is only talking about this to score political points. Even until the end, I think that's what she was saying. I don't know if you picked up on that. Right. So like, yes, okay, we get it, Katie. Kevin said, well, he's just weaponizing it. He doesn't care, but yeah. And then they bring up this stat that they talked about, which is like this 80% stat, which I haven't looked into. Have you heard that one? They're like 80% that apparently he says that DeSantis has been saying this fact that 80% of sometimes kids who are found to have gender dysphoria no longer have it when they're longer, when they're older. Whether that's correct or not, because Robbie thinks he thinks it's correct, and then Katie also thinks, I understand that there's some, there could be that stat might not be extremely misleading or whatnot. Maybe you can explain more. But then again, she comes back. She's like, but he's just using it to weaponize. I get it. He's a politician. True. Fair enough. Yeah, but geez, over and over though. Like you get it.
You put it so simply. He's a politician. Like, I'm sorry, but which politician is talking? That's the thing that pisses me off the most about the left. They think when somebody's talking about labor rights, or when somebody's talking about minimum wage increase, or when somebody's talking about Medicare for all, they are talking about an ideal. No, they've just made a calculation that that's the better way to get to the power. Right? That's all it is. That's all it is. Maybe there are some exceptionally noble people out there, but you can't go by 90% of cases, they have made the calculation, or they didn't have a choice. For example, they were from a minority group and they could never be part of the establishment group. So they thought, okay, how do I get to power? I become the leader of this group and I get some power space for them. That's all it is, politics. It's not about morality. Stop putting fucking morality into it.
Very fair, very fair. And I agree with you to a very large extent. But I would just add, but perhaps those people often do have a little bit of affinity for that kind of topic and stuff. And that's why they've really gone up those political parties. That's why DeSantis is a Republican. I'm sure he does care more about this kind of topic than like labor or anything else, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he likes this also in general. Like, it's not purely political, his obsession with transgender stuff.
DeSantis specifically strikes me as a particularly bureaucratic and
really
sort of like a weather wind. Is that what it weather rain? Sorry, weather rain, sort of that type of thing. DeSantis strikes me as like that. But I would agree that after, for example, you have a generation of politicians that whip up this type of nonsense for votes, or for for cynical reasons, as in not for the reasons that are prejudice, let's say. But then the next generation really believe that bullshit and then become that type of politician. So and even you're right, like even let's say DeSantis believes a lot of stuff he says. It's not about like I don't think even it matters what people believe. They are driven by forces beyond their control. So but as you said, the biggest problem is like this idea that, okay, what a surprise, a politician is like lying.
No, but Katie, honestly, like I feel like on this show, like she's pretty much like one of the, since she's come on, I mean, very clear, like she's a like her leftist kind of things, like very like basic generic like leftist ideas and just things I find she presents in the videos, and that's it,
But
so, like,
I must say though, I prefer her presence so much more than Briahna.
But from Briahna you can get something. But Briahna, like if every now and then you can put like her weird presentation and condensation and her being condescending aside, like she might make interesting points that are like informative and stuff, have some interesting like reasoning and idea and fact.
She has great guests, but to be honest, I've rarely seen her make it. I don't know. I'm making a huge huge assertion based on my recent memory, but frankly, no, I'm not sure if you're right about that.
I don't know. Some of the stuff she can argue herself nicely. Like that Uber example. The Uber example.
Sorry?
Like the Uber example, I thought that was nice when she, when she was debating with Robbie. But yeah, she presents stuff. You were gonna say finish. She presents like she'll like make constitutional arguments and all this, which are things that Katie wouldn't do.
No, it's just a lot of the stuff she presents, I think, are either obvious or like point of view. But their Uber stuff, I don't remember what it was about.
Because Robbie was just talking about how labor laws and all this, damaged Uber, and now Uber has become more expensive and all this. And Briahna just made the point. No, Uber becoming more expensive has really nothing to do with that, or at least to a large extent. Uber wasn't a profitable organization whatsoever. It was just sustained through venture capitalism in the early days, and then at some point they're trying to make it an actually profitable product, I guess. So, I mean, and Robbie had no return. But yeah, that was a nice one. By the way, is my video frozen on your side? I'm completely frozen here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Now you have me from a different angle, so looking in from here. But all right, Sam. Now this video, you're gonna give a little summary of what it's about. But first, maybe there's some other things you want to touch on.
Yeah, forget about that. Emily and Katie have the best chemistry on the hill. And Emily, I swear to God, I think Emily was a big fan of Katie beforehand or something. Emily thinks she's found her best friend. She's laughing throughout the segment and they're chatting. And it's so much, I genuinely love it. I love it. They have the same chemistry as two like cool friends, but they're from different angles. And Emily's just laughing the whole time. And it's just like, I love you, Katie. Please rescue me from Ryan. Ryan is so fucking boring. Like, I don't want to hear about Congress anymore. Please, Katie, come here. But I loved it. I love their chemistry together. I hope they stay together because I feel like Emily genuinely, and Emily is like, I feel like she's a child of the progressive world. Like, she's about 5 years old.
Why of the progressive world, of the conservative world?
I know she's a conservative, but she's always around the progressive, I know she's a federalist and stuff, but she's a child. She's allowed to, experiment with other ideologies. It's okay. It's okay. She's gonna come. But she's so cute. She laughs so hard at Katie's. It's
I haven't
so fun.
seen that. I have to check that out. That's funny.
Yeah, that was the main thing. I don't know. They talked about monopolies.
No. No, please mention this. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to talk about it. No.
Please tell me what Matt Stoller's main argument.
Well, Matt Stoller's main argument is that the national security of America, or the military, let's say military organization, the military infrastructure, has been undermined, specifically since the 90s, because since the Cold War, because the Cold War ended, America said to the military companies that we don't need as many of you, and therefore they became extremely concentrated into 4 or 5 companies, as he mentions, and therefore that undermines even, let's say we don't agree with this, because we generally have a more like leftist, not necessarily, I'm not a leftist guy here, maybe more, but let's say we agree with this idea of a Cold War, of there is a Soviet Union against America. When you have few companies dominating an industry, like a monopolizing an industry, they can even undermine their strategy, because they can charge extremely high amounts of money for products that, for example, it's often said that American military budget eclipses China, Russia, and the next, I believe the last year was the next 12 countries next to it. But that's not necessarily a good way to compare American military to Chinese military, because expenditure does not necessarily equal to what you get from that expenditure. For example, Chinese, maybe I haven't done deep research on this, but maybe because Chinese own the AK-47 building factory, they can produce AK-47s at a much cheaper rate than America can provide. What is I forget the equivalent of MI. I forget the equivalent of AK-47s in American military, or a tank would a similar tank with similar capabilities would cost less in China than in the US. So what he's focusing on is the monopolization of the military, which undermines, for example, it's famously said that military itself in America has said that we don't want, for example, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's called Abraham tanks. We don't want any more Abraham tanks, but because Congress men, some of them are in the pocket of the factory owners that produce some of the parts for the Abraham tanks, they never allow it to be a stop to the production of the Abraham tanks. So he's arguing basically how crony capitalism, in a colloquial sense, or how basically how monopolization leads to undermining of even the military objectives, if you agree with the military objectives. Sorry for the ramble.
Yeah, no, that was great. So I mean, I listened to 11 or 12 minutes of the video. I think a ridiculous way to look at the argument that he was making, based on the one time I listened, is that the US cannot anymore, is in a position to not produce enough weapons that it needs, if it gets into a fight with China, right? I feel like that was like the ridiculous way of saying his argument. Pretty much his argument.
He gives a 5 to 10 year time frame that US is gonna fall behind China, but that's just
so it's gonna say if they get into a fight.
He's an economist. He's an economist. I'm not an economist. I'm not a military strategist, but I've done international relations, and from what I understand, that's complete nonsense.
Yeah. So he's saying the US won't have enough weapons and weaponry to fight, and even gave the examples like, now we gave these to Ukraine, like these ones, and now we won't be able to have enough of them. Okay, again, when we want to produce them.
So I think understand anything
that makes the military weak. Hold on, it's just like ridiculous. Now, if you want to talk about there's waste in the US military, and maybe the US military could be more efficient with even 3/4 of that budget, all that, of course I believe, I'm sure the other systems also have their limitation and all that, but I think, and overall I think he just tried to apply his monopoly beat and like theory thinking to this, and although there's some truth to it, but the consequences of that on America's capabilities at the military level are just ridiculous. Now, of course, if the US had even quadrupled this budget and tried to attack Russia in Russia, I don't think they would ever win. But I don't think any money or any amount of weapon will ever allow you to win a thing like that. So I mean, you can be a bit charitable to his argument, but I feel like he was taking it far, and the examples that he was giving and how important they are. I mean, I would really need a few military generals to convince me that things given to Ukraine, or if the US ever needs them, it's going to take them so long. It's going to be so hard to get them going again that, it will affect their military power. I mean, sounded a bit ridiculous, the whole segment, to me.
I think you're being way too kind.
Really? You were being kinder.
I feel like I gave a good explanation of his economic argument, but now I think we should, just to get to the sort of assessment of the whole thing, I think you're being way too kind, because I don't think he understands anything about international politics.
But neither do I. But I think any normal person understands the amount that is enough for like these arguments that I was making. I mean, you don't need to be a
exactly. You don't need to be an expert on anything, but that's the thing about knowledge. When people study too much one thing, like monopolies and stuff, I feel like it taints them. It's like gender studies. When you study too much gender studies, it fucks you up. But no, check out his podcast with Brie about China and all that. he doesn't understand anything about international politics. He doesn't even have a base understanding of what is the difference between nation and state and not nation. He's really like very, very stupid on that. Just like I am on economics, a lot of like a stock stuff that he talks about, I don't know shit about. But then again, I don't go around, commenting too much. Maybe I have done in the past. I apologize if I have, but commenting on too much about this stuff I don't know about directly. Like I might say the stock market is bullshit in general, but I don't go details and stuff. His problem is that his understanding is so flawed about like international politics. It's just completely flawed. He doesn't understand at all how like military industry, like he doesn't. That's a problem with a lot of people you have in economics. They don't understand how politics works, anyway. But yeah, and that's why it leads to this idiotic statements like within 5 to 10 years, China is going to take over us in military.
He has an article out and I didn't go read it, but I mean, after listening to, 10 or 11 minutes on the video, there was just no incentive on the way the arguments were presented, And
I love, by the way, how he tries to do this thing that breaking points, and it just started with fucking Jon Stewart. That is, I hope populists do the right thing, I hope and military is not always bad, blah blah blah. It's just like, oh fuck you.
And am I imagining this, or maybe I read this mistakenly in comments or something, but was he suggesting to offshore gun production and to increase it? No, or am I making this up? No, I'm making this up. Forget about it. Forget about it.
Maybe he said it, but
no, forget about it. But yeah, it was an interesting example to me for really to take your main way of thinking and try to overly apply it to some other area. And and his appearance, and it was just too funny. The last time we saw him was when he was on Bad Faith, and I mean, it was just insane, the stuff that he was saying. And then after that, he went on the call-in show and he was being so weird and rude to like the other journalists. So it's not because I don't actively follow him. So then it's so funny, the next time he pops up, he manages to make an idea like, what?
I don't know what
he scares me, man. He low-key scares me.
I know what you mean, but he's just, it doesn't scare me. But I think he's a bit of a contrarian, and which I am somewhat too. But I like to think I have, like, I'm not as much of it as I was in the past, and I drop it within 2 minutes.
Yeah,
but he's
fair enough.
Just like, But I must say, the main important thing people should focus on is that Emily has a friend.
We're going to come back to this. I'm going to try and watch some Ryzen segments with the two of them for next video.
She loved Katie.
Really?
She was making so many jokes and like, all right, can Ryan quit? Can Ryan not? It was so good.
All right, Sam, let's continue our Rising segment. So this video about Monica Lewinsky asking Beyonce to take down some reference about her, and then there's another reference that she was previously asked to take down, and this video, I nothing struck me. Actually, now that I think about it, there's one interesting point actually made by Katie about that. Now that everything is digital, like, do people are forced to like constantly go back and maybe like change like word things in movies or all this? So that was an interesting thing, because now that is possible, now that you can do. But I don't know, maybe you have more to say, or
First of all, I mean, case by cases, but first of all, this segment was like the Hill. Whenever they have two people from the same side on, it's the worst. I think, like, this was genuinely the worst. Just like really the worst segment.
I didn't enjoy the conversation between the two of them
at all. It was, hey, do you agree with me? I agree with you. This is fucking stupid. And then what really pissed me off was what really pissed me off was again I'm sorry, but who the fuck does Brie think she is? Like, really? Is she like a gender specialist or some fucking? Oh, I understand. It's hard to catch up with the words. It's hard to. Fuck you. Maybe it's hard for you to catch up. Okay, it's not hard for us to catch up. Just because some idiot comes out and says, I'm this, I'm that," it just doesn't mean like we have to go with it, right?
Yeah.
It's just so fucking condescending. And then Monica Lewinsky, who gives a shit? Who was looking at Beyonce's lyric going, oh, this Monica Lewinsky's on her shirt. I hate all the women. They're all sluts now. I mean, Monica Lewinsky, frankly, she had a relationship with Bill Clinton when she was 20 years old. Okay. All right. She was a fucking adult. I never gave a shit about it. I don't think he should have been impeached for it, because who gives a fucking shit about it? But I also don't think she should make a career out of it 40 years later as well. Like, get over yourself. Like, and she wasn't, oh, I was slut shamed, blah blah. Yeah, by the Clintons. But then what did you expect for the Clintons to do? Not to, like, I mean, yeah. What is going on? Like, stop. What is this? Like, fuck off, all of you. Seriously, fuck off with your personal issues. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about the imbalance of power at like a workspace. I mean, she was the president, and he was the president, and she had a sexual. At work you shouldn't be allowed to do those kind of things. But
if you're impressed by presidents,
laws,
but idiots. So.
But yeah, no, I very, very largely agree with what you're saying. I always leave some room. You see, it's very largely.
Yeah, well, that's you're a good politician. But no, like when we were in high school, wasn't girls going out with guys older and in good with expensive cars? What now we should always feel sorry for those ladies because they had sex with somebody next. What the fuck? Stop trying to make your personal life like some fucking adventure.
Yeah, I mean,
Hercules labor.
Yeah.
Fuck
I mean,
off.
she can do whatever she wants, Monica Lewinsky. So I mean, that's her thing. She's allowed to go say whatever she wants. But yeah,
pretending you're an idiot if you don't understand the new fucking gender pronouns. Fuck you. You're an idiot for going along with whatever. Oh, I'm a minority. You should respect me. Oh, fuck off.
All right.
Because somebody claims to be a minority or claims to be disadvantaged, you shouldn't just immediately go, oh, yeah, they're right.
Fair enough there. But okay, anything else on this? But this video didn't even have anything to do with those topics. It was just about this. Oh, this is the one which I didn't get.
Yeah,
so I think this is what you're referring to. Yeah. I'd never heard that though before. But
it's more British, maybe.
Yeah, they use it.
Fuck that person. Hannah Divinini should go die in a ditch or something. I mean, fuck off. Really, fuck off. If you really genuinely think a spaz in a song is an insult to the disabled community, you just need to fuck off. Really, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, the disabled community, rightly so, is typically very well respected. So yeah, I don't know the history of this word, or even like that's the reason that it was even in that song, or what that it's referring to. But I mean, shouldn't feel like a slap in the face, even if every now and then you hear something that you don't like or you don't think it's good for you. Like, really feels like a slap in the face.
It's interesting how come, like, that person didn't tweet about the fact that, for example, disabled people don't get financial help from the government because, for example, many of them cannot find a job. But this feels a slap in the face. Maybe this is about her Twitter getting more likes. Maybe this is nothing to do about disabled people. Go fuck yourself, you asshole. people like them, I prefer, right-wing assholes, because at least like they're trying to financially benefit. These assholes, they're trying to financially benefit from the most financially disadvantaged. They deserve to really, like, oh my God, these people deserves the eighth circle of hell.
But all right, okay. Let's move on to this one. I did this one. I was trying to calm you down. I didn't even get this one. Is Bree saying AOC is good to run now and has a good chance? I'm not even going to bring up the age thing because I'm assuming that has been calculated and AOC is of age to run for president. But besides that,
she will be, I think.
I mean, I guess the more another thing here is that they do seem to be more open, the Democratic Party, to, to not let Biden run a second time. But, I still think they're not sure. And then the AOC thing kills me. And then it just made me think how bad of a president AOC would be. She would not.
Oh my God,
she
worst.
She would not do one thing because she would say, "Oh, I can't this and that." Like, the words and stuff that
my district is divided. Well, think about America. How divided America is.
Exactly. She might say a few words here and there, but even those she doesn't say anymore because now it's gotten old. I mean, that would be man, at least when Biden is in power, you have like the dream that, if like, a progressive was in power, things would be different. But when you have your man, well, not that she's our man, but when you have your guy in the office too, and I mean, with her, it would just be, she wouldn't be Bernie, Bernie, I could see at least him trying to do one thing. But I mean, I don't even know why I'm talking about this so seriously.
No, I know. But I would like to know, my main point was, who the fuck Brie thinks she is? She's trying to like blackmail AOC that now that you're gonna run for president, maybe you shouldn't have, distance the force the vote people and all that. And first of all, I mean, as you said, it's unlikely all of that is gonna happen.
I think
if it does happen, AOC doesn't need fucking you guys.
I know.
She's counting on suburban fucking housewives.
Exactly.
Democrats. Fucking left. Yeah, exactly.
She's counting on the current Democratic Party, the current Democratic Party, more or less.
Majority of it. Let's say 20% of it is like people like Brie or people sympathetic.
Exactly. I mean, AOC will not have a better chance. Like, Brie and me have the same chance of AOC answering her calls, our calls. That's how, she would not care. I mean, even now, she doesn't even come on her show or anything like that. So thinking that, she would, AOC, when she runs for the president, I think she'll be just your standard Democrat by then.
And she would do well, by the way.
That's her thing, though.
She can do what Obama did. She can do what Obama did, pretend to be right wing, but at the same time, I respect it. And she's a woman. She's brown. Oh my God, she's a perfect Democrat.
She just needs to complete her transition to that. She's like 90% there.
No. She needs. She's still running in the primaries as well, right? She will complete that transition as soon as the primary is done. That's when you complete your, I feel like strategically that's why. But just the whole Brie, as if she has some fucking leverage here.
But I didn't even catch that part.
The poll vote people won't come out. Oh my God, more than 200,000 Americans are not going to come out. Whoa. Oh, Jesus.
I mean, I didn't even make it that far. Damn, it's a 60-minute video. I don't think I made it past 30 minutes.
And then oh my God, in the middle, she's trying to appeal to, in the beginning, I thought she's one of the best congressperson, one of the best people. But now I'm not so sure. Oh, your negotiation techniques are so sublime. They're so subtle, Brie. We don't notice them. Oh, come on. That's the problem with the left, man. Like, they don't have any fucking, they think popularity
the level of wishful thinking.
Power. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
Bree's a
pathetic.
hopeful girl. I hope for her now that she achieves this change that she wants. Not really. I really feel like, it's like someone who wants to like buy the dream house or car now.
She's fucking 36 years old, but she's the same age as we are.
No, she's 39, I believe.
Okay, she is slightly older, but it's fucking like, what the fuck? Like, are you like every show she has, and we're gonna talk about a very good interview she did with George Monbiot, and it's like every episode is about like, how do I justify my own activities? I don't know. Look at your own life. It's your own personal question. It's not a fucking Sorry. It's just, I feel like when you do a show for more than 5 people, maybe you should focus on each, like, it's not all about justifying what you should do or what you shouldn't do.
Agree with you there. Okay, let's move on to Andrew Yang. What do we have to say here? Here you seem to be you seem to be more positive with this. I mean, I really can't stand his things anymore. Yeah, you said like maybe he was being like, he was trying to be funny when he was when he was saying that, here, let's listen to what he says at the beginning.
Our next guest needs a little introduction. Co-chair of the Forward Party, Andrew Yang, joins us now to break down some big changes in the new third party. Welcome back to Rising, Andrew.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me all.
So Andrew, you are now the co-chair, is it, of the largest third party in the United States?
Yeah, that's right. By resources, we're growing like wildfire too.
Sam, I'm the biggest YouTuber in my apartment. I can give you that. Yes. These two things are equivalent.
Yeah. Come here. If you don't, I don't know if you know this, but among English-speaking Iranian YouTube channels, we are number one. We are number one.
There literally is not another third party in the US. There is the Green Party. And I don't think you can.
People's Party.
But how about this?
Nick, I haven't raped anyone. I haven't raped anyone. Give me your money. Give me your money.
Because like the DSA, for instance, that's not a. Is that considered a party? Exactly, right?
No.
That's a wing of the Democratic Party, kind of. No,
that's an independent institution, I think.
Is that what you would call them? Because if not, anyway, the DSA is bigger than whatever Andrew Yang is times 33. At least they have candidates in. I don't think you're actually a party until you have someone who's elected and represents you. Like
they have some people.
Really?
Now they have
some
people from GOP and stuff. They joined them.
Oh no, join them.
Join them.
And is that whole thing like, does that whole thing make sense where like we're just a party of like ideas, and if your idea wins it's good? I feel like that it's a counter to a party, because they're open to anyone, right? Whether you like cats, you're allowed. Whether you hate cats, is that possible? Because that sounds like a good idea. But that's not a party. If your political landscape is like that across the country, yes. But shouldn't a party stand for something? Because what are you gonna write on your platform list?
Yeah, I know. That's my exact.
I've been confused over this for like months.
With the left. No, you're right. Completely. I'll get to it specifically, but you're completely. That's the specific fucking problem I have with Jeremy Corbyn, Bernie Sanders, AOC, anybody on the left. Right? Because in his party's thing, you can go to his website, I think now. Go to our platform.
Oh, we are actually. But these are not things.
Oh, no. Go up.
Those are priorities.
Go up something, join the movement. Click on join the movement. Join. Yeah. Go down. What he explains why to join the movement, right? And one of the reasons, go down for, go up. Maybe we should open up the thing.
No, this shouldn't be an issue here.
Go. There is one part. Go to homepage.
Hold on.
Sorry about.
No worries.
Oh, Y. Yeah, Y forward. Go to Y forward. Go down. Go down. Oh, diverse. Oh, bottom up. Go up. Go bottom up. No, go up. Sorry. See, bottom up, not top down strategy, right?
Yeah.
This is what the forward part. If this is the problem we on the left, we wanna the real left has to care about the grassroots. We have to care about the people on the ground. It's not about the people on the political part. No, we have to care about the grassroots. Bottom up approaches, not top to bottom. Well, bottom up approaches means nonsense because nobody what are you talking about? So if bottom up decides to go fucking full neoliberal, you have to go full neoliberal. It means you have no belief. It means you have no fucking you don't have the courage of your convictions. That's a problem with the left. The left is always going on about, we need minimum wage that is actually living wage for workers. But no, we have to put it to a democratic vote. You have to choose one. You have to fucking choose one. Either you get the money that you deserve or the democratic approach. You can't have both, okay? It's fucking infuriating to me. It's been fucking 70 years since democracy came about, in a modern sense and all that. And it's still the left is grassroots. Oh, the people. Have you seen the people? Most of the people are a bunch of fucking racist, reactionary. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just realized I'm being an asshole.
No, but listen, I mean, you can achieve those democratic, you can achieve things through democratic means as well, but not always. But I mean, my problem is just more this party doesn't stand for anything, you got to stand for
this party
these are personal things. If someone gives you these, you would think these are a list of how to be a better human, better to grow as a human being, to think about diverse stuff, listen more, be graceful and tolerant. What is this?
This is more ethics, morality, bullshit.
For an individual, I don't politics. Know. Maybe to an 8-year-old, I'm gonna when I have a kid, I'm gonna tell them this.
Ethics and morality is for children. Ethics and morality is for the individual.
But this isn't even ethics. This is behavior.
Ethics is not a collective thing. It's a personal thing. So that I would say I would even go further, and that's just the Democratic Party. The only difference they have with Democratic Party is maybe the trans issues. I don't know. That's all it is. It's nothing.
And then look, I mean, sure, this I love, but I mean, these don't really have to do with a party. But yeah, if you can make these three things somehow happen, that would be interesting.
But
ranked choice voting.
What does that? No.
Yeah, that one I don't understand.
What does fucking non-partisan voting mean?
No, non-partisan primaries. No. Hold on. You're hold on.
So that more people.
No. It just says non-partisan primaries, not voting.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's just an extension of this.
Yeah. In America, it means, for example, in New York, if you're not a registered Democrat, you can't vote. So that's what. Okay.
So sure, these are good things, but again, this has nothing with a party. But yeah, if you can make these things happen. These are
independent restricting commission.
No, redistricting. Redistricting.
I know. That's as stupid as the Kyle Kulinski when he says that, if we get the money out of if we get this, what is it? The Supreme Court decision that allowed corporations to. It's just, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking child.
Because you mean it's not achievable in that sense.
No. I mean, even if you achieve it, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I mean, no, redistricting, because, of course, when it's controlled just by the Democrats and Republicans, right?
Might change.
They use it a little bit, but
by the way, by what I say doesn't change anything. Okay, it might change pension age from 70 to 65, but it won't change foreign policy. It won't change the largest scale, like the way the government.
Unless, it becomes a totally different country to things like this. But I mean, that would be like,
maybe
that would be weird. But yeah, this isn't a bad thing. Like, I mean, I just want to point out that this, of course, so for it. Now, how does he have any strategy to achieve this whatsoever?
I'm not sure.
But I mean, this still doesn't have anything to do with a political party. You're fine. You have one platform. But
yeah, exactly.
How can you have all these different people and not have anything ideology? Like, the typical things, like the typical easy stuff that we talk about, like healthcare and these kind of things that are just,
They believe in balance, Camille. They believe in a balance. They believe in both sides have good ideas.
But yeah, I mean, everyone, of course, everyone wants this. Ideas. Who doesn't want free people, thriving communities, and vibrant democracy?
What is a community? What is a thriving fucking?
No, yeah, thriving community. I'll tell you what I think. Yeah, nonsense. Exactly. Anybody can think what it means. I just think
vibrant
in my head
democracy.
Is everybody has enough money to just live their lives. Like, sure, I think everybody kind of agrees with that. But yeah, I still, going back to what I said
crazy earlier.
Going back to what I said originally, like, someone needs to explain to me how you can have a party that doesn't have an ideology. Isn't it like a party like
their ideology is centrism and coming together, and which is democratic ideology,
which is still an ideology. Yeah, I mean, there's still more things than you can list if that's
you can see it as a bit of a subcategory of a liberal ideology, that if we talk about stuff, if ideas come together and clash, then a new better idea, it's bullshit.
So you're saying that the few people who have joined already and who are actually elected politicians, you're saying that the few people who have already joined his party and they're actually elected politicians are from the GOP, are former Republicans?
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to look that up. That's too funny.
Yeah.
So
but go to his website.
He basically made the Republican Party bigger. Now, if you get like kicked out, there's a second Republican Party.
He's basically created. If it continues, if it's not just a financial scam, he's basically created a spoiler Democrats, because it's basically exact same thing which happened in labor parties in 70s when a bunch of assholes created the Social Democrats, which when Labor Party got left wing, bunch of fucking centrist liberals, they left the party because and they created the Social Democrats, and then in the 70s it led to 79, I believe, the biggest defeat of Labor because they split the votes. That's all. That's what all he's doing.
All right, Sam, let's move on to our last Rising video here. So this one I haven't watched. So it has a little bit to do with Senate Rand Paul, a little bit to do with Jon Stewart. So the floor is yours.
So I don't know if you heard about this, but did you hear about the Joe Manchin, Chuck Schumer deal that allowed the
little bit,
basically a very tiny part of the Build Back Better to pass, but then what's her name? Christian Cinema came in and it's even made it worse. So it's basically like 2% of what Build Back Better was supposed to be or something. I don't know. But then, according to some reports, but Republicans dispute this, as a revenge, Republicans sort of voted against the bill that would provide money for health insurance and health stuff for the veterans of the 9/11 and all that. And that's something that Jon Stewart champions. And Rand Paul is actually the only person who, one of the only people, I think maybe the only person who voted against this bill, both before and after what happened with the Build Back Better, whatever, Joe Manchin, Chuck Schumer team. But go to Jon Stewart picture. I think that's a good way, because there's not much to talk about here. I don't care about rank ball, but frankly, I'm a leftist, and I know Jon Stewart has a lot of credit. I'm not a leftist, sorry. I'm somebody who has some principle. Okay, I'm just gonna put forward my argument, leftist, right wing, whatever. People can judge it, but I don't care about. I'm not talking about firefighters and the police officers in New York that went and to the 9/11 situation and tried to save lives or saved lives and put their own lives at risk. I'm not talking about the firefighters and the police officers in 9/11. Those people are genuinely a hero. I mean, the closest thing that a humanity. I know it's a job, people get paid, blah blah blah, but you can get paid for a lot of things, and that's as close as to a thing you come to a hero. I think firefighter or ambulance, that type of thing, or some police officer. I know a lot of police officers, maybe not, but some veterans, which is a big part, maybe the biggest part that Jon Stewart is advocating for. I don't give a shit about. I'm sorry, but I really do not give a shit about it, especially when there is no healthcare for all the Iraqis and Afghanis that you fucking bombed. And then he pretends he has the moral high grounds defending these idiots. I'm sorry, but if you're born after 1980s and you join the army, you're a fucking idiot, right? You're an idiot. Like, you can read books from 500 years ago how you should never join the army because it's fucking stupid to fight for an idea or for land for some aristocrats, right? And this idea that we should feel, oh my God, these veterans, they risk their life. They risk their life for what? For going to Iraq and fucking up. Again, I think a lot of people who joined up the American military did it for good reasons. I don't think they did it but they're idiots, so they deserve what they get. I'm sorry. If you join a military for even good reasons, you are a fucking idiot. All right?
Listen.
Jesus. Unless your country is under immediate attack. And then, this is, no, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is what breaking points, all these fucking programs I hate online, all these fucking, if only the left and the right could come together on the veterans issues. They can't come together because we all respect the veterans. They're fucking idiots who risk their lives because they were frankly too poor or too uneducated to. And then, oh yeah, this guy who lives in your, instead of defending the Iranians, by the way, let me be clear. I'm Iranian, but Iranians have no right to claim to be taken advantage of. Iranians have no right to that. They've been in conflict with other countries, but Iranians have no fucking rights to claim to been unjustly taken advantage of. All the 1953 coup d'etat stuff is mostly bullshit. So I'm not talking about Iran, but did you see fucking Jon Stewart losing it when the Afghanistan money was being stolen by Joe Biden? Did you see him go on YouTube and going, this is unacceptable, this is blah, 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 when the money of the children, not some asshole who signed up for military when he was 18 or 20. Did you see him doing that? Fuck them. Fuck all of you assholes breaking mainstream media, Matt Stoller, Jon Stewart. All of you are basically proving yourself nothing more than national socialists, just like Nazis. And I know this is a stupid fucking analogy to bring, whatever, but they are fucking Nazis. All they care about is their fucking nation.
Okay, I mean, of course, I wouldn't go that far as saying that. I mean, there's no real point as saying that. It is true that they're very much concerned only with their nation, a lot of them, and exactly when there's that much focus on the veterans and then, not what those veterans were part of. I'm much more sympathetic for younger people. So let's say you join the army at the age of like 18 or something. and then you go, but then you come back, and then of course you have a career in the military, or then you go and do multiple tours in Iraq, Afghanistan. I mean, by that point you should have seen it. But however, if that's the only job that you can have, fine. But then again, this kind of like veteran this, veteran that doesn't really align or go well with that. But yeah, and then of course the veterans get also screwed over by the US Army and all of them. But I kind of get it. I think they go in this. Yeah. But yeah.
Wait. I like to apologize and say that you're 100% right. I don't blame anybody who's 18 and doesn't have any money or doesn't have any future, and he's told by every media outlet that military is a good way to to live up to your ideals and actually do something good for your community. So it's annoying when there is a complete it's just like Iranians, man. Again, Iranians always going on about how we are unjustly treated by America. Well, did you ever, like, for example, the oil money that comes from southern Iran almost exclusively goes to northern Iran, and nothing goes to, what I mean? Like, there is a bit of a, but yeah, you're 100% right. I don't blame anybody who's 18. When I was 18, I was so stupid. So like, my point is just, I was trying to highlight the fact that the people who stand up for supposedly righteous stuff, I feel like we are like the children. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but like, there is a different like, of course those people who are tricked are also, there's cruelty acted upon them, but the people, the children, the people who never had a chance, the people who never had a education, the people, what about like, it's so sorry.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Jon Stewart might come out and say, oh, I also care about them, and I also make X, Y, and Z. So I didn't see the scale of how crazy. Yeah, I didn't see the scale at which he went on about this, and but yeah, I mean, the veteran thing is a really easy issue to just make, like, to get behind, because exactly from both sides and all that, they kind of agree. But then of course,
and I would just one more thing I would like to add. I genuinely mean this, because I know a lot of 100% of our viewers probably don't watch Iranian TV, but there is an equivalent of Jon Stewart and Iran. I'm not trying to be like Iranians or brown people are any more like, discriminated against than any other group. I genuinely mean that. And Iran is not like, I just like to clarify that it's not about, being American or being Iranian or that type of thing.
Got you. Okay, anything else to mention here?
No, but again, I know I'm an asshole, but at the same time, I kind of feel this is like, if you signed up for Iraq war or Afghanistan war, in a way, unless you are very young and I don't know, I'm too confused. I don't know.
No, I mean, that part, I mean, for me, I do make because I think, like, people can make you're young and you want to go into, like, the army or something, but like, like someone who's like 30 and up and they're like in the army or something, I mean, at that point I've like lost all this kind of sympathy, especially in the US, like, country like the US, it differentiates from country to country, you can put to a large extent, but in the US where like you're so focused on just attack, and you go up by attacking by being involved in different invasions, then
Well, I swear to God, I remember at least since I was 5 or 7 or something, like, we always made fun of like people who went to war.
But in Iran it's different, or at least our surrounding is like that. I mean, like like the army and all this, or like being veteran and all this, but like, I guess we don't see it, but we're not used to it and all that, like my dad went to the Iraq war, and I know he wasn't like, he never claimed to, he taught or something, right? But like, really? It's like, he taught, like, no, because he did his thing? No, he taught English, I believe, because his military time fell during the war.
Yeah, I know.
So so I guess most people. So he just went, but like, there was never like this talk like after it about like, it did this or this, like, like this affection for like the army and all this. I mean, not that he got, but yeah, like veteran or like salute or like celebrate the army and all this. But I think some people in Iran obviously perhaps do it, but or for instance, like they still celebrate, of course, World War I and World War II every year in Europe. And I understand it was a big war and all this, people are involved, but it's just I've never seen the equivalent of it in Iran, although I'm pretty, as most people know, everything I say about Iran is based on anecdotal experiences, personal experiences.
Same here, but
I mean, a bit more.
No, it's anecdotal, the same, but I would add that, again, like in Iranian cinema, you have a genre of movies that is like all about these people who are veterans of the war and are damaged from the war and stuff, right? But yeah, that's not a genre I like, because you have other genres in which it's showed that, for example, that all aspects of the society put up a fight, and it wasn't just veterans. And I would add that Iran-Iraq war was at least for the first 2 years, was a defensive war. So it's a bit different from a
that's
invasion.
For sure.
Yeah, I would say. But
no, I mean the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army brings about a unusual amount of evil to its soldiers compared to a lot of other countries, because a lot of other countries, I mean the army's perhaps involved in dodgy stuff domestically, but in some they're not that involved with being sent out on invasions but it really depends. But I mean the army is of course always that that tricky thing where, I mean, as a leftist, I mean, I don't even know if like not having an army would be a good thing. Of course you need it. It's part of reality. But at the same time, it's just lent to, such atrocities all the time.
It could. I mean, look, the thing you said about Iran is quite interesting, that, maybe our back. I mean, look, I would say my family, from not my father, but my grandfather up, they were all in military or security services, so I don't know if it was always a negative thing in Iran like it is now,
because of post-revolution.
Post-revolution is definitely a like, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of leftists in America pretending that the post-revolutionary government in Iran is popular among the working class or among the majority of the people you don't see in media. That is complete bullshit.
That's one thing about like
100%.
I've tried my hardest when I was in Iran trying to make those little observations to Iran across social classes and across all kinds of various classes, and it is of course they do have pockets of support in places, or of course there's such things exist, but it's kind of surreal, and it comes back also to that lack of not being as close to religion as well in Iran, or at least to Islamic religion, for such a big part of the population. So that is just so off-putting for them that the regime is Islamic. Like in Ramadan, go to Iran, you'll see taxi drivers having tea and they put it on top of their car as they're having tea. But go to UAE or go to Saudi Arabia. I mean, I've been to UAE. Go do the same. Trust me, you're gonna be in trouble. Yeah, you're gonna be in big trouble.
This is an anecdote, but I think it's an anecdote to explain. So I'm not saying everything is like that, but trust me, anybody who tells you, Aaron Matte, Max Blumenthal, Glenn Greenwald, whoever tells you Islamic Republic has popularity or Islam has popularity in Iran is lying to you, 100%, right? But I would give you an anecdote. In Iran, I used to go to classes for movie making or something. During Ramadan, we would go out of the school and start smoking. And then the gatekeeper would come out, can you guys go a bit further down there? Because the police might come and they might think we are involved with this, right? That was the thing. That was a school. That was official school. In Dubai, I was smoking on the street, not really, like not on a school or any. I was smoking on the street on Ramadan, and then suddenly some fucking random security guard and nobody. Ari, this is Ramadan. Are you smoking? This is Ramadan. What are you doing? You know, fucking idiot. And I threw the cigarette at his face because he was, nobody. But it could be, a thing. So yeah, it's. I mean, it's complete bullshit that in Iran, anybody. I mean, the idea that religious beliefs, religious beliefs are still among Iranians, maybe 10% or at highest.
And especially like it's following ridiculous. Like typical Islamic religious stuff that in other Muslim countries they follow much more closely. Yeah. Except, because spirituality and all that stuff will be different. But it's just so funny. I mean, I just thought of another personal experience.
Yeah, 90% are deist. They believe in a singular monotheistic God. But the idea that anybody follows any of the rituals is bullshit. Don't believe any of this idea that left-wing fucking Americans put out there that religion is a transformation that can help fuck you, fuck off. Please fuck
all right, calm down a bit. Let me just speak. And then
because I hate it. Because man, sorry, China and Iran have a longer history of atheism and skeptical thinking than Europe or these fucking people, at least on the left, have. And they pretend that if it's a new thing. And when you look at the East, the Eastern people, they're fucking stupid. They believe in magic and shit. So when you talk about the Eastern people, you have to, you have to be, understanding of a spiritual, fuck you. All
right, let's calm down. No more F words for the rest of the show. Let's just try to calm down, not bring in all these premises and all this and argue against them, Jordan Peterson style. Although I agree with a lot of those premises, your premises were right, at least, unlike Jordan Peterson.
I agree I disagree with the dichotomy between East and the West. And,
I agree with that. But I wanted to share one more quick personal experience. So this is actually really funny. So when I was in Dubai, any kind of said this version of the story before, but any friend that I had from another Muslim country, like they would like fast during perhaps during Ramadan and do other stuff. Any Iranian I knew, and in Dubai I actually got to know Iranian from different parts of Iran, different cities and all that. None of them, not a single one that I knew from these different parts. I mean, they were exactly the same. They're like, it's as if this Islam thing, it doesn't exist. I mean, the funniest one was this kid from Bandar Abbas, like super south of Iran, which is like, as different as where I am from. Like, I couldn't even understand their Farsi. I think he was the only other kid who, like, just like me, hadn't been to a mosque ever, and like with his friends or something, he would like find it funny and like, ran. And like maybe once he said he went for his first time or something. And I mean, me and him might as well be from different countries, like we had to like try to understand each other's.
No, you weren't
Farsi.
You both.
But you know what I mean? It's just hilarious. But all the other ones from any other country, they would all. I mean, when I went to Dubai, I learned about Islam. Nobody had told me in Iran.
That's true. In Iran, they don't talk about Islam too much. They talk about Imam Hussein, but that's not really Islam. But I would add that when I went to, it's so funny. When I was at university, and it's because I didn't we don't follow the Islamic calendar or anything like that.
In Iran,
Ramadan is. I have a bit for this, but Ramadan is when you can really tell Iran is not Muslim, because Ramadan is the biggest thing among Muslims, but Iran is like, oh shit, it's Ramadan? Fuck, I forgot. 2 days passed? 2 days. It's so bad.
I've been doing the early bird fast since 7 a.m. So that kind of
exactly. They have the Sunnis don't have that.
It's a great invention. They don't.
It's like you have lunch in the middle, but it's not a big lunch. So. It's so stupid.
Like a summertime Mediterranean dish, light.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember a friend, a classmate who was Pakistani, and that's the thing. My only way to make friends was always to say, "Do you want to go have a drink?" You know what I mean? And it was like in the beginning of Ramadan, and there was a French friend as well. And he was like, "Oh, hey Sam, what you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, hey, I'm just going to get a drink. Do you want to come for a drink?" And the Pakistani guy was like, "It's Ramadan, you know that?" And the French guy just broke into laughter, just like, I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, I know it's Ramadan. I hate, I'm just gonna go now."
No, that word is too funny. That difference. But of course, we've also mentioned that, like in Iran, Ramadan doesn't lead into the new year like it does in Arab countries because use a different calendar.
No, it doesn't. That's the thing. By the way, correction. It doesn't lead to New Year in Arab months. The celebration is very much like New Year, but the New Year of Arabic starts, by the way, in Muharram, like 7 days ago.
It's not at the end of Ramadan.
No, it's at the beginning of Muharram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the month that Shias. Yeah. I
but so how come they celebrated like Eid at the end? But
because it's Eid al-Fitr. It's Eid al-Fitr. So, but it's about Abraham. No,
misinformation here, but
no, but the
mistake.
New Year of Islamic calendar starts at Muharram, which is the month that Imam Hussein, as you know, the Shia. I'm gonna do a big deep dive next week on that because it's happening in.
Yeah, you're right. So Islamic New Year was Friday, 29th of July.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't care about the Islamic New Year, but Ashura and the Islamic Imam Hussein ceremony is my favorite fucking carnival in the world. It's just, I love it so much. It's so good. It's so fun. So. I mean,
but damn, I couldn't.
You couldn't what?
I always thought that Ramadan led to the New Year.
Me too. I mean, I would say culturally it does though, because it's the yearly celebrations that bigger Arabs and Muslims have. Yeah, it's definitely bigger. I've never seen Muharram. I don't know what they do for Muharram. Maybe because I'm Shia, and in Shiaism, Muharram is connected to Imam.
Yeah, like I have another friend who's like, a Shia practicing Shia, and he's the only person I've ever heard talk about Muharram outside of Iran. Like, yeah, he does stuff for Muharram, but
it's a Shia thing.
It's a Shia thing. But like, yeah,
by the way, it's a
Sunni
mutual
countries,
friend.
It's a big,
You're pretending as if I don't know it, or some. He's a mutual friend, guys. I do know, but yeah, Muharram is I'm gonna do a deep dive next week, hopefully. But it's the most cool carnival in the world that I know because everybody dresses in black and it was based on a military sort of a what do you call it? Military parade, I suppose the equivalent would be. And I love it. I love it so much. It's so much fun. Have you ever been to a Muharram chest stitching?
No, I've seen it, but no. Like my mom would never let me do that. Like, I mean, it's that level of extremism of how much they hate, like, that kind of stuff.
I used to be like, I mean, my family is completely like your mom. I used to be like that too. But now I've come to really love it so much because it's because I see it as a dance, not so much as an ideology, if that makes sense. And it's lovely. And the story of Imam Hussein is a good story. I don't believe it's necessarily historical or anything, but it's like Jesus' story. It's a good fucking story, It's epic. It's got wars and all that. I love Ashura.
All right.
But before that, I like to do a bit about, a month ago we had Eid al-Qurban. Do you know what that is?
I 100% heard it, but no, I forgot which one it is, or like, maybe there's something symbolic.
Yeah, maybe you want to Google it. Eid al-Qurban is one that Muslims and I believe Christians and all that celebrate. It's the one that Abraham is trying to kill Ishmael, but then he sees a goat, you know.
So it's called Eid al-Adha in Arabic? No, I don't know any of these things.
I believe so. Eid al-Azha. Yeah, that makes sense. Eid al-Azha, because zeb means killing in an Islamic way. Yeah, that makes sense. Eid al-Azha. I never understood why English people sometimes change fucking. It's Eid al-Zahi, not Eid al-Adha. I never understood why they changed Z to D. It's so stupid. But anyway, this is about Abraham killing the lamb instead of his own Ishmael. You know that? You know the story, right?
No, I don't know any of these stories. No, where would I learn this story? Where do you think? No, but hold on. Where do you think I would learn this story? Tell me.
Any fucking
no, tell me.
This is such
so
a
in French school. So in French school, they teach you this.
It's in Bible.
They teach you this. They don't teach you religion and all this in French school. How would I have learned this?
All right, France maybe, but even if you're in the UK, you should okay, France is a secular. Okay, you're right.
I mean,
education.
My parents don't use the word atheist or all these things, and of course, they're probably, they probably like believe in spirituality and all this. I know, but they wouldn't talk about any of this ever. I don't know how I'm supposed to explain this to you.
Noah. You know about Noah, right?
Just because Noah you hear in American references and all this, you hear it in Western sentences.
Abraham and killing his child is really that level, man.
Perhaps, but I didn't hear this one.
All right, anyway, Abraham, Abrahamic religions all start with Abraham, who's by the way, if you read Abrahamic stories, it's so much fun. It's like Old Testaments, because it's just like he's being complete. He's basically a terrorist. He's an asshole. He one night he sleeps and he dreams of God telling him he should sacrifice his firstborn son to a god, and he had to wait a long time for the child and all that. So he takes Ishmael to a mountain where he has to sacrifice him. Then because God was just testing Abraham, sends a sheep, and then that's why on Eid of Qurban or Eid al-Adha, apparently, you sacrifice a sheep. You remember that?
Yeah.
Come on, you must remember that.
No. Right? Okay, the sacrificing of the sheep, I've seen. Yeah, I know that you sacrifice sheep sometimes when you travel somewhere. I've had it in that context too. But yeah.
If you go to Mecca, if you're a pilgrim, as they're called in Islam, you must. If you have the money, it's a must that you have to sacrifice a sheep and feed it to the poor every year, right? So this happened. This was about a month ago in Iran, right? And I love that was the bit, by the way. I didn't think I'm going to do a whole fucking introduction of the bit in the beginning. So now we are getting to the bit. But the bit is that I love Iran, man. I love Iran because they adopted this religion, Islam, and these fucking traditions without really adopting it, so to speak. So Eid al-Qurban is the best because your Instagram page on my mobile phone, I can show you people. There were so many Abraham jokes. There were so many Abraham. Oh, what a motherfucker. He tried to kill his child. Oh, can you imagine if I tried to kill my own child, but then I saw a goat that talked to me? I would be taken to asylum. So Iranian reaction to fucking Eid al-Qurban was basically like, what? Oh shit, this is the year, every year we have to pretend to be Muslims again. All right, we are Muslims. It's just Eid al-Qurban is a perfect representation of Iranians as like literally they don't know anything about Islam. They literally don't know anything about like actual Islam. They don't even like the traditions. They just want to be included. Like, they want to be one of the cool guys in Middle East. So they're like, we are Muslims. Abraham, I know Abraham. Abraham was the father of Fatima. No, not the father of Fatima. Oh, he was the guy with the goats. He was the guy with the goats, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It was just so good. And
I see. But yeah, I don't know anything about these things.
That,
you can assume that going forward.
Okay. But now we have Ashura, which I'm going to talk about next week, which is going to be fucking... Ashura is awesome. Ashura is fucking amazing. It's like, it's probably the most action-packed, like, legends we have. So
nice. So we'll come back to that next week. Okay, let's move on to this other interview now that Briahna has done. Bad Faith with this gentleman. Oof.
He's a climate famous in UK.
Oh yeah, so he's a climate activist. Is that a fair way to put him? Or
he's more of a
scientist, or
he's not scientist, but he's like, I don't know how to put it, but he's bigger than that. He's more like a researcher or something.
Okay, so he's but wait, but I want to see how do you know his name? Because I didn't write down.
Oh, George Monbiot.
George. Oh, okay.
Monbiot. He's very big in the UK, but
I see. How does he describe himself?
He's always on like environmental stuff or economic stuff.
Writer, so British writer.
Go to Wikipedia. Yeah.
Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. Just black hair.
Yeah. Activism.
Attempt at what?
Huh?
Attempt to arrest John.
Published works.
I like him. He's nice. He's very articulate, but maybe a bit too academic for our liking in general. But he's nice.
No, I mean it was good. So I mean they're talking about
Oh,
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
No. I was just gonna get into like what they were discussing and all that.
I just like that they discuss both car industry and meat industry, two industries that it's quite funny because I completely avoid the car industry and you completely avoid the meat industry. So it was like if we put us together, maybe we get one George Monbiot.
Yeah, and so I mean they were talking about all the focus is kind of on personal stuff. It should be more systematic, so they kind of had that in the pocket. It was decent. Then they were talking about activism and how in the US it seems like climate change protests get a bad rep and it's kind of seen like as against the working class people. So there was that. The little thing came up that is always gets on my nerves is like, sometimes I wonder, should I have kids and should I have not had kids? I mean, for me, like the problems of climate change, they're very real. But I think like, middle class and up people in Europe, when they claim that they fear this for their children and stuff, it really like confuses me. Like, I'm going to have kids soon. And, if I think about things that I worry about them as growing up, it'd be like, in a couple. No, okay. No. I'm just saying I can't see like as like,
so
middle class above as a middle class and up person, in Europe, for that to be one of my main concerns. I'll be more concerned with, my kid perhaps developing a bad, like, drug problem or like a health problem or like alcohol later or like some other like road accident and all this. I feel these are much more than because climate change, because of course it's gonna affect it. There might be water sources might become harder in Switzerland in 50 years or 80 years or 100 years, but it's just I always think that climate change, I don't know, is not spoken about sometimes in the realistic way and not break down what the different kind of impacts are actually going to have for different populations. Because the bad things that we hear about, it's going to be for other people, like poor people living in other parts of the world. So I never understand why they're worried about their own children. It kind of confuses me, but
I would agree with you. Have it not been for recent development in Europe, where it seems like even a middle class person in Europe can't afford a fan and dies like, oh, it's 30 degrees, I'm dead. Like, I would have agreed agreed with you, but
yeah,
it does
I mean,
seem like
the
it's a
heat
bigger
thing is
deal.
there, but I still think that's not
It's
at
not there. It's
at
not
the
there. It's
level that
bullshit. I'm
that
sorry, but it's
climate
bullshit.
change is. And that's
Yeah, I
of course
agree
it's
with you
mainly for old
100%.
people really who are vulnerable to this. When
Yeah.
there was the heat strokes in
And they're all
2003,
and
it was a real.
yeah, sorry, the old people are vulnerable to everything. So yeah, and no, I 100% agree with you. I was just being facetious. It's fucking ridiculous. I completely agree with you. It's
Like I think, I mean, yeah,
the
I
idea,
understand
look,
the cause of climate change. I understand that places will make climate change, will make places uninhabitable. I understand it's going to bring more suffering for a lot of people, and all this is just whenever it's talked about.
Or fucking London.
Yeah, fine. There might be New York is the only one like water might be rising, but I'm sure they'll have ways to build up that. So just that way of talking, and it's so funny. The whole children thing is always like people in Europe and stuff who seem to have this idea children thing, but I'm all for it. Don't have
no, it's not that Europe
children,
man. It's an international bullshit thing. It's the Islamic Republic was the first. Khomeini used to say, "Our future is the children."
No, but this is the opposite. They're like they don't want to have kids because they think like the planet is gonna implode in 30 years or something.
All right, you're right there. But
like the guys, like that Guardian
sentiment.
But like that Guardian article that we covered with the vasectomies.
Children. Yes,
like people.
But I would say, look, I'm not somebody who's I'm not sure if I would ever have a child. I don't think not that anybody's offered or anything. But no, but my point is that I'm not saying it's a good option, it's a bad option. It depends on your personal circumstances, really. It's kind of like, what can I do to be happy type thing. You can't look for these answers in philosophical ideas. You have to find them out for yourselves. And if you are somebody who can afford the time and the money to raise a good child, you should. I mean, not you should, but it's a good,
do it if you want.
It's a personal choice again. Do maybe it's not a good idea if you're very, very, disadvantaged and maybe you can't provide a good life. But then again, what's a good life? Some people who are very poor have a much better life than some people.
For sure.
So it's a very, this thing, I mean, when we talk about governmental policies, we should solely focus on materialistic aspects that can be measured. But when we're talking about such a personal thing, I really don't know how you can really give a general opinion about something that is so dependent on personal factors.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And then me just coming back, to my previous point, I just really think it would be so much better if we talked about the impact of climate change in a more nuanced way. So at least, breaking it down from...
I would argue the population control or depopulation is the only meaningful way to address climate change, though.
I mean, we've had that conversation. I mean, I really don't think so, because if you have less people and you still consume more, you're in the same place. So it could be part of it. You can't have population growth forever, perhaps. But as this person says, the only the only one thing that we're perhaps doing for the environment is that the human population is on its way to plateauing within the end of this century, most likely, unless there are dramatic changes. So
perhaps that's a good argument, but I would say that I don't think you cannot have, let's say 10 million people consuming as much as 70 million people, even if they over consume. There is for example, sweet water, the level of water each human needs every day. There is a limit to that. There is a high point and a minimum point to that.
I wish water was talked about more.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, sweet water especially.
Because water is something, that can even affect everyone and in different ways.
No, but my point is, even besides water and all that, it's just human societies. Anyway, we've discussed this before, but larger than a certain point, I think it's a
But that's one way that someone scared me once about in Geneva. I was like, what can the impact possibly be here? And this thing, I think it was a professor or something. He was like, well, they say that if the temperature gets lower, then the water that we receive from the mountains, and here there's water and you drink it and stuff. So I was like, yeah, it's true. It's like these parts of the water could be warmer, and therefore this form of bacteria can come, so we'll have this much of less water. So now that's such a realistic scenario of some way that could affect. I found it to be so much more powerful than this way that it's kind of talked about, that you think that the world, okay, in 80 years it's just gonna implode and nobody will be able to live on it, and that's that.
Yeah, that's partially because we are living in a relatively well-off cities of
of course,
world, or you know what I mean, like maybe it's so unimaginable to us, maybe because it's genuinely
but that's what I'm saying, it's unimaginable here. That's why every single thing that's said about climate change, to cut down all the emissions as much as possible, as fast as possible, and all of this, I completely for, because I know that even within the next 50 or 100 years it's going to have drastic implications, even currently, for a lot of people around the world. I was just saying, as I just find it funny when middle class and up people sit in Europe, and then they say for their kids, that's one of their big concerns. I mean, come and ask me in 15 years, maybe things would change by then, but I would still think I would be worried about other things in that situation. But yeah,
very much exactly, it depends on
I introduced,
if you're as you said, middle class Northern European, you're 100% right. So
at least within the next 100 years. Now, of course, if you continue, maybe in 200 or 300 years, you'll also be under threat. But the threat will probably be different by then, because we'll have transitioned and done something else, and then there'll be new ways that we're going to harm the planet.
Some kind of other environmental disaster will be waiting. But you're 100% right. I think because you actually specified middle class as well. So you can be like, for example, brown middle class Londoner, like Rishi Sunak, but you would still be in that category.
But so I was just that made me think. And then what else is there to say about this this segment? But the guy, he wasn't something. The kind of guy who would say focus on individual things or all this. So he wasn't.
No, forget about that. Would you eat the bullshit he was proposing to eat?
Oh, I don't think I got there. What did he propose to eat?
Oh, he talked about this technology that he thinks is the most important technology in anti-environmental.
Oh, I haven't heard.
I think it's about fermentation of bacteria at lab level, and they
go at it, buddy. Go at it, buddy.
Love the pancakes.
Go at it, buddy.
No, but you would you have you ever eaten one of those Impossible burgers or something?
I eat them all the time when I'm being unhealthy.
So would you eat a protein synthesized at the lab?
If that's the only thing I can find, if I have to, but I don't see why, because I mean there's why would I ever have to do that?
You go to a burger shop and they have a burger with real meat and they have a burger with synthesized meat. Which one?
But just because, since I'm vegan, I'm really not into it. Maybe I would try the synthesized one, but for sure I would try synthesized one. I don't care. But I mean, my point is, I don't know what angle he was trying to go. My point is, if you want to eat plant-based, there are far simpler ways. True. If people could just go back to a little bit, in the grocery stores, they have it all there. That first section that you walk in are the fruits and vegetables and the grains. That's what you're supposed to focus on. That's what you're supposed to on as a vegan. And then you go to the legume part and you get the beans and all that. Now, the Impossible burgers, the fat from this converted into that, the vegan sausages and all that, I eat them, but I'm the first person to admit that, that's not a healthy lifestyle either. They're all absolutely processed junk food. And really, if you're trying to look at to cut down, you should just go back. No need for technology. Just imagine how people have been eating for the past I don't know how long, and that should take care of it.
Yeah, well, the meat has been part of diet for a long time too, but I agree with you completely. Like I always found it so weird that they have these all vegetarian foods, because you just have some fucking green bell peppers and
but that's being healthy,
sometimes
rice. But sometimes that you want to, like they make some amazing vegan chicken nuggets, like some of them, at least if you ask me. Maybe my taste buds have changed so much, but I mean, I really like them. I find them to be absolutely delicious. They make some sausages that are pretty damn good, so sometimes make vegan sausages. Or when you barbecue, I like to barbecue some veggies, but also throw in an Impossible burger or something. Tastes pretty good too. But I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is when people are talking about lifestyle and all this and vegan change and all this. I mean, yeah, sure, those are good for environment too, but don't also forget about your health. And I mean, if you're gonna go plant-based, the best way is to truly go plant-based.
Oh, that's for sure,
and not those other ways. But yeah, I see. So he's excited about this. I mean, I think
he's not excited. He's super fucking excited.
He's
like getting paid by the company or something. Man, yeah, that's the thing. And I felt a bit sorry for Brie, because Brie kept saying, well, what if people don't want to, eat a fucking bacteria?
But why would they eat bacteria? I don't know. I don't know why.
He said, I don't know. He kept doing this fucking, I do that sometimes too. I'm not just throwing shades here, but this thing of, what is cheese? Cheese is bacteria. Like cheese is basically a type of mold, right?
Yeah.
So he's just explaining.
No, we do a lot of those kind of things.
You eat that, but you don't want to eat this.
But why did he skip over the whole veggies and like legumes and grains and that kind of part? I would go with that. And then if
veggies and legumes also would, environmentally speaking, when they would need a lot of land to be.
Well, that's the thing. They need
made into agricultural land.
Yeah, they need such significant less, because the thing is, when you have animals, the thing is you have to grow a lot of that food and then give it to the animals to eat, and that makes it exponentially, they're not even comparable. And the amount of water that animals need and all this. So there's actually such a big difference that, of course, plants also contribute, although they take in CO2. So let's not forget. But yes, you need to clear up land and all this. But I'm guessing if you're going to start making that lab stuff at such a big place too, you're also going to need to start making some space for some new buildings and labs and all that. So, I mean, everything at the end does have a environmental impact.
Fair enough. I would add that animals, though, and that's a scientific thing, it's a proven scientific fact. I don't know if you know this, but animals actually taste delicious.
That hasn't scientifically proven.
It has. I'm sorry, but it has been. They taste delicious. Unlike legumes, who taste like,
no, come on. You're telling me chickpeas and stuff can't be nice?
I don't like chickpeas, but
lentils?
I love a split peas. I love a split peas. Peime, as you know, is my favorite Iranian food in the whole fucking world. So
you make it too complicated. Right. In the Western world, we know chickpeas, lentils, and black beans, and you eat them in they grab corn, like the way that they eat corn sometime in Europe and the US or stuff. It amazes me. Like, get corn in the most bland way ever, and then they put it on a plate like this. In Iran, they burn the shit out of that corn. Then they dip it in this water. Don't ask in it. It has quite a bit of salt. When that comes out, that's
a
heaven.
Special type of. That's called that's malal.
Oh, it's corn, right?
That's different.
No,
that's maize corn. But no, you can get the spoon. You can get all the. But that's the best one. When in Iran, they fry it on coal.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. They fry it on coal. Then they don't put it in some fucking weird water. They put it in salt water.
Yeah.
Cool,
and I'm willing to put my face in that water. It's so good.
I know, it's so good. It's so
dip me in there.
Man, Iranian street food is so good. I love corn, like corn cups or whatever with salt. And the best thing is they have these what's it called? Labu. What is labu in
Oh
English?
yeah, beetroot.
Beetroot. Oh my God, man. I love
cooked.
beetroot and fava.
Yeah.
Fava beans and beetroot cooked. They sell them on the streets in winter.
Great.
And it's fava beans. It's so good. It's so.
No,
it's so amazing.
100%. But by the way, before moving on to our next segment, there's actually I would like to catch up on my climate change science, and there's something I would like to learn more about. I don't know where, but that's the infamous tipping point that you hear about in climate science, and that's something that haven't. I want to know even what they're trying to say, because sometimes you might think like in mainstream media something is transformed into some other meaning, the tipping point, but then you read it in scientific papers, it's like much more relaxed and chill. It like tips a little bit, but that's about it. So that's it. I would like to know more about this, but I mean, tipping points can be natural, but there also has to do with climate change now. But I mean,
you know what's a tipping point? General in colloquial speech, right?
Of course.
What's a tipping point?
Like you go above a certain point where you can kind of come back.
It changes everything, right?
Game changer.
So for example, I mean, I'm being very crude now,
but I mean, I would like to know the latest science on it. I didn't mean just like
no, I know
you're an analogy example.
No, but look at it this way, like tipping point is because in the majority of, I think, colloquial literature, it's presented as a continuous sort of you grow and you get to a tipping point. It's not necessarily like that. Even the hitting of Earth by a meteor, I guess it could be a tipping point because it leads to a change in environment, a tipping point in a climate system, that it leads to a change in a climate system that is, at a grand level, at least.
I think this paragraph here kind of backs what you're saying in a way, to an extent. Tipping points are often, but not necessarily abrupt. For example, with average global warming somewhere between 1 and 4 degrees, that's a huge margin, the Greenland ice sheet passes a tipping point and is doomed, but the melt would take place over millennia. So I think this kind of, this was kind of in line with what you were saying, no?
Well, was a bit more, to be honest, exact and scientific.
Yeah,
my
of course.
point was a bit more like about the concept of,
the British Empire and Iran. Sorry.
Iranian Empire. The Persians, they defeated the Greeks, I swear to God. It was not the other way around. I swear, the Romans, we fought them. I swear. Nobody believes. Nobody believes.
But okay, how about you fill me in on this video? Tell me what.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
I haven't watched it, so
I must say the Vanguard guys like Emily Jashinsky, I have a soft spot for them because they're like children, and I just want to grab their. Oh, Zach, you're so cute. But yeah, they're children.
First of all, we have the man in the tank top, and they had a debate on Afghanistan.
Is he, by the way, is he wearing a fucking wig? What's happening with his hair? It's really
but and it was in Afghanistan, right? That's all I know.
No, it was about a lot of things. I think I watched the first half, to be honest. And man, the level of discussion about Afghanistan, the level of knowledge that was being thrown around was just too high. So I had to get out. So you have Vaush arguing that Afghanistan is basically, guys, I don't want to no, I didn't mean a terrorist state like that, but I meant a terrorist state. Like, you can't communicate with them, Of course, I think Iran is an awful state. I think Iran is awful, but you can communicate with them and you can have ambassadors. But again, I don't know what these people think Afghanistan is, but Afghanistani Taliban before 9/11 said that we would even give you Al-Qaeda if you give us some evidence. But instead of pointing that out, Zach and Gavin are like, yeah, but what if then, well, you say drone strikes are just good, but what if then Taliban starts doing drone strikes in America? Would you agree with that if they do drone strikes and George W. Bush? I mean, I'm sorry, but Jesus, fuck. I mean, okay, let's pivot this to something. I don't know if you want to talk about this, but what the fuck is, like, why is everybody online on the left is so fucking shit?
I don't know what to say. I mean, by shit, you mean what? So, I mean, they don't know much about foreign policy. That seems to be a common thread.
Like
that
very
seems to be a common thread. Because they're left on...
Two things. Let me say this. Two things. About when I say they're shit. They don't know anything about political theory or political, like, ideas and all that. And they don't know anything about history. That's what I mean by being shit.
Yeah, I mean, they're just folks on the left, people who are attracted towards left domestic ideas in the US, so higher minimum wage.
Oh, they want more money from government.
Higher minimum wage,
freeloaders.
Healthcare for people, and all this. So then necessarily they don't have too much knowledge, about...
So basically,
about
they're
other
freeloaders, right?
And no, that's not at all what I said. I just said why I meant that they're... Would they consider
themselves? But what does that mean? I'm sorry. What does that mean? When they
just because you don't know stuff,
but nobody else.
Sorry. I mean, I don't think Zach and Gavin would be those kind of people for themselves and not somebody else. That would be more like someone, like, what's his name? The Breaking Points guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I mean, they're just not too knowledgeable, perhaps, because they never studied them really, and but since they're on the left and they have a YouTube show and podcast show, they talk about it. But
I don't know shit about civil engineering. I don't go comment about it. Why do people who don't know shit about shit and they don't even do the basic readings that you get on an undergrad university level,
I don't know, man.
Feel like they're so righteous. I'm getting...
Do we not have that problem? You're saying we don't have that problem at all?
At least we have a fucking master's degree. At least.
Okay, but I mean...
we try to reference whatever shit we say, we try to reference.
Barely sometimes, but I mean...
No, come
oftentimes, no, I don't know.
Compared to these guys,
but it's hard to tell.
Vanguard I like, but
yeah, but you typically have a blind spot about yourself, so you don't realize on what topics you would be talking that way, I would say.
Fair enough. No, you're right. I know you're right, but I'm just saying, look, I know it's idiotic to make a differentiation in some ways, but I do feel like this is ridiculous. Like, having a 30-minute discussion about Afghanistan with this level of nonsense about how
I'll give it to you.
Structure of government is no. Like, I'm not saying that if their opinions are right or if they're wrong, but this idea that like they don't even have a basic understanding of has happened last year in Afghanistan. It's just the left is being I don't know.
No, and I'll add something to it though. They go and very explicitly talk about these topics and are even comfortable going on other channels talking about these topics. So when you go somewhere else and you talk about it, you really seem like you know something. If you're on your own show and you cover different topics, you might know more or less. And then when you also have debates about them, then that criticism becomes extremely more valid. That's for sure. So I want to give you that. Because for instance, we oftentimes when we talk about it, there's one of us who kind of knows about the topic, so they're the one talking about it, and don't go on other shows talking about that issue as if it's something that you know about or you're an expert in.
Okay, I'm just saying it's very... I don't understand the balls that you need to have. For example, you have a 1.5 of a master's at least, right? I have a master's degree and I still feel like a complete fucking idiot and a complete rube talking about politics. And these people talk about it so self-assuredly.
I agree with you. There are a lot of people.
Nonsensically. Like, they're not talking about either anything real. For example, talking about the Liberal Party in UK. They're not talking about anything concrete like that. or they're not talking about even ideas like, okay, liberal ideas against Marxist ideas. They're not even talking about, you know what I mean? They're just talking nonsense. It's just like floating, as I love to say, floating signifiers that don't mean shit, and sometimes make some people agree with them, some people disagree.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing to see so-called left or so-called substantive analysis at this level.
Yeah, and, you know, but like one thing I want to say that I guess is like kind of backs a lot what you're saying is that, you know, I've been watching alternative news media for like 12 years and all that. And, you know, okay, we're shit and all that, 100%. Let's agree. Let's just put us aside forever, right? Let's say that we're shit and everything, right? Let's just put us aside. Let's take me as like a consumer of like, you know, forget that I have a shitty show as well, okay? Let's just take me as a consumer of leftist media. The YouTube one is like in a sad state now. I mean, honestly, like back in the day, Democracy Now! Single-handedly was much more informative than everything, you know, all the YouTube channels right now put together. And I mean, right now, still some of the biggest, the most interesting ones are really like the big guys left from back in the day, like Glenn Greenwald and Matt Taibbi and all. I mean, the state of alternative media on YouTube. I mean, you know, like whatever, Zach and Gavin are young and maybe they're trying to do something else. So let's even forget about them. But in general, overall, if you look at it, like, I mean, you know, because, very bad number-wise, extremely low. The same ones, the topics, you know, the level of experts and everybody come very low. And anytime you see like good experts, it's kind of like, you know, a flashback to like back in the day, you know, like, I mean, honestly, like Democracy Now! Back then when I watched it, it was extremely informative. And from their end, it never kicked on and kept on going. It just has turned into a lot of these like podcasts and all this, which are, you know, it's just like we make fun of mainstream media and all this, and just our own little place is also really shit. And I find, at least as a consumer, I don't know what some of our viewers think.
You mean our own show?
No, like our own alternative YouTube left media and all that. Like, you know, we talk about how mainstream media is so shit, but over this time we haven't created anything good. I keep on saying, but in not like we together, but I just mean, you know, in general, it's pathetic, people, the landscape right now.
We think we agree with.
Yeah.
But I would like to even go. That's a fucking. I don't like you too much, even though you're my best friend. But I think that's a great insight, because yeah, we are not great, and I have a lot of criticism of my own takes, but these people are. Yeah,
but others are not too good either.
Exactly. Not only they are not too good, they're worse. I would say they don't even seem to spend the minimum amount of research or minimum amount of. That's a fantastic thing. That's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's to be different. Like back then, like now, I don't know which show to watch for. Like, you know, you have to like catch like Aaron Matte on a topic, get this like other person there. I mean, you know, Democracy Now! Back then had a lot of its limitations. I mean, you know, the repetitive, too old people, and all this.
Yeah, I know.
But it had quite some benefits. You know, I think they tried much more back then to be, you know, as you know, impartial in a way as possible, or it just seemed like it, at least less influence. The Real News used to do good, insane stuff back then, although they were a bit different, more analysis. But damn, the Real News back then, I don't know if they're still the same, but they had like bunch of professors on rotation, just non-stop. Like their expert on Turkey was literally this professor, this Turkish professor who lived in Toronto, and I could barely understand what he was saying. Like that's the level of expertise. This guy had like a full-out Turkish accent. Like it was so strong. I was like, no idea what you're saying, but you're absolutely right.
I am Turkish, but I don't understand what.
It was just crazy. The level of guests Paul J used to bring in every.
That's true. I would like to add. No, maybe not. I don't like to add. I don't know. I'm very Sorry.
No.
Just let's move on.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen what's TYT and all that has happened to. I mean, it's just surreal. And like the biggest channels are not even, if you think about it, if they say The Hill or Breaking Points, these guys are not even, they're not even on the left. Like, I mean, half of them are straight up, you know, right-wing people. Yeah, which is not passing any judgment, just descriptive.
I guess there's a bit of a what do you call it, like a coming of together or whatever between among the left and the right so-called establishment, whatever that means. So maybe that's but,
and not like, you know, and not like Ben Shapiro psychopath level. So then like their closest allies are kind of leftist in a way in this progressive world. On YouTube progressive world. People, so. Can we have our own state? We'd like to say
like Mormons
just separate. It'd be the biggest failed state ever. All right, Sam, let's move on to this Kyle Kulinski video that he posted on his channel. I mean, now I don't think there are no if, buts, and maybes. This was the stupidest conversation. I think Kyle spoke to the two stupidest people he's ever spoken to, at least in this segment, although we're going to look at the comment section. It seems like a few people who know them from before don't think that this was so rare. But yeah, these two insisted on talking on the Alex Jones case while admitting that they don't know anything about it. But then for 20 minutes, okay, Kyle, we didn't answer your question. So let me try to answer your question. Kyle wasn't following up. It was them who just kept on making the conversation longer, but fine. However you look at it.
Kyle wanted to talk about this, but they just wanted to talk about some bullshit like abstract ideas, I feel. But I would add that I think I don't like, I mean, just play the
we're gonna watch 90 seconds. And I mean, Kyle doesn't mention who the hell they are in the title of the video that he posts or in the description. But I mean, you know, they're called Stitch and Adam. Sitch. They're YouTubers.
Sitch,
and yeah.
I'm guessing, wait, before I read, I'm guessing there's somebody who's gonna bring some views from right.
Stop, you read this. Or some... You read this.
No. Wait. Debunk crazy people on both. Of course. No, because man, in their argument was they were like funny, but they were also like, you know, rattling each other. It is such an original concept. The idea that you have somebody from the right and somebody from the left. It's such an original concept. It's just unbelievable. Like they came up with it.
Too funny. So this, I mean, I listened to these first 90 seconds. I couldn't believe it. Sent it to Sam. I mean, let's just, okay. So here they're going to talk about the Alex Jones trial. Let's hear what they have to say.
And wait.
Yeah.
Caution for everybody who's watching. The level of arguments is too intellectual and shit. So your brain might just hang, you know. My
too
first
specific.
time I heard, they're too intellectual. So.
But the first 90 seconds, I believe this guy just steals the show from the get-go. He doesn't even need his co-host.
Any of the Alex Jones defamation trial or no?
I saw one clip and I tried to listen to some of it. Yeah.
I saw that one clip. I'm assuming everyone saw with the your lawyer gave us all the phone data by accident.
Yes. Do you guys have a position on, you know, what you think is the ideal outcome for the trial? What do you think, Adam?
This is an interesting question because so much,
Adam?
So much of our show is like Sitch and I talking through these things, you know, and I haven't really thought much about the Alex Jones controversy. I do know that there is a lot of difficulty here with, you know, discerning truth in the current environment. And I know a lot of people, we had the Amazing Atheist on our show a couple weeks ago, and, you know, he has a position where he doesn't want to let any untruths, you know, be broadcast into the world. And you know, I have
That was the stupidest 10 seconds I've ever heard in my life. From the point where he said they've had amazing atheists on to right now, that was the stupidest like sentence I've ever heard. He doesn't want to have any untruths in the world. Okay, I think he even butchered what. I mean, I don't think much of Amazing Atheists for a lot of things, but I think this guy probably even butchered what that guy said because this made no sense.
No, that I would go even further.
Do you have your mic, by the way, right? Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, shut it. Well, can you go 10 seconds back before he went to the whole, amazing?
No, that was really funny too. Here.
Controversy. I do know that there is a lot of difficulty.
Sorry, go
here
10 seconds further back
with discerning truth and
ideal outcome for the trial. What do you think, Adam?
Show is like Sitch and I talking through these things,
So the question is, what is your view that is ideal outcome of this trial? That is a defamation trial, not a civil defamation trial. And it is like, a lot of stuff, it's just me and a Stitch or whatever the fuck he is. Yeah, we talk through this stuff because such complicated stuff. It's almost like, genetic engineering or something. So we comb through this stuff and all that, and then play.
Cool. And I haven't really thought much about the Alex Jones controversy. I do know that there is a lot of difficulty here with discerning.
I do know there's a lot of difficulty here discerning truth from, I'm guessing he's gonna say fiction or lies or whatever in the media landscape, as if what the fuck do you think life is, you fucking. That's why I sometimes hate the left, because
but this guy is unclear if he's the left. I mean, what is he?
No, left, right, but like these fucking liberal bullshit type thing. Like these people, it's like they never live the day in their fucking life. Like, oh, it's very hard to tell it's what's true to the life. Oh no shit. Oh no fucking shit. Have you ever read a history book or any book, to be honest? Sorry, I'm having hiccups, so it's very difficult to talk right now. Acid reflux. But this idea, it's very hard right now to tell the difference as opposed to when, you fucking idiot. And then play some.
But yeah, for once, this is not even such a weird case about telling the truth and all this. Here it's pretty clear cut. So, I mean, it doesn't even really apply. I don't know why they go down this road here. But I mean, like, the guy does everything except talking directly.
Truth in the current environment. And I know a lot of people. We had the Amazing Atheist on our show a couple weeks ago. And, he has a position where he doesn't want to let any untruths, be broadcast into the world. And I have some sympathy for that position, but I don't necessarily know how we discern what truth is. It seems like a big part of our political life is trying to understand, what is true in the world. So I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with the situation. I mean, obviously, in the Sandy Hook situation, it's crystal clear. Like, we know what the truth was, and you kind of have Alex Jones.
Oh my God!
Taking a totally self-serving position. But in the broader context of the debate, it is a tough debate that I think we need to have more often.
What do you think,
Sitch? Oh, really?
What the hell did he say? Hold on.
God, after 3 minutes of saying bullshit that, I don't necessarily agree with those guys, but I don't necessarily agree. I think these guys are like that, these guys are like that, and these guys are like that. After 6 minutes of that, I don't know how we tell the truth from the lie. Oh, just thank you so much for.
Yeah, I don't know why he gave like such a big politician answer, as if like someone asked him about the craziest topic. I mean, I don't know. And then the other guy goes on the same. But by the way, did you see the cat cleaning itself in the back?
Yes.
That's too funny.
I for a second I was like, is that like one of those light bulbs that's
yeah, with the cat comes.
Is that one of those hairless cats? Or
no, not at all.
No.
Yeah, the cat, but it's just too funny what it's saying. I don't know if I should play any other segments, but
is the claim that Alex Jones was just
play a bit
negligent?
of the.
Let's listen to his response. Yeah, but try not to, by the way, try not to say anything at the same time, because even last time when we were listening to Aaron Mattis stuff and we made a few comments, people complained, although I didn't think they would care.
Sorry. Yeah, I apologize.
Didn't give any answer. That was a nothing answer.
What other context?
Even his friend recognized it. There we go.
Give a clear answer, Adam. Look at that. You just didn't give any answer. That was a nothing answer.
What
does Alex Jones get sued? Does he pay the families all this money, or is it free speech?
Clearly Alex Jones should get sued and should pay the. I mean, they're haggling over the amount of money now. Like, he's already lost the case, correct? And so we know, and even the judge is admonishing him for, lying in court, basically saying things like he cooperated with Discovery, which he didn't cooperate with Discovery. So yeah, I'm up to speed on that stuff. But the more interesting question for me is the wider debate about, truth in media, right? Like Biden tried to nominate like a truth.
No, like really the Alex Jones stuff, taking it to that. I haven't heard one other person saying that this is part of that. These are totally different kind of things. Like, I mean, I don't even see he's connecting it.
No, I
mean, the Alex Jones ones were different because they were lies, and they could have clearly find a respond to it, but in general, then connecting to the general thing that is, of course, the truth isn't always clear and stuff. I mean, I think in this case it was a very far-fetched and a bad example for that.
The problem actually is when you get to the specific cases, even with Alex Jones stuff, it's very, very muddy and I think Alex Jones is a piece of shit. He deserves to burn in hell or whatever. He's a cynical, worst kind of human being you can be. But even if you look at the details of his case with this recent case, it's very confusing and it's very muddy, and that's the thing, man. Truth is not clear cut. Truth is not somebody being guilty, somebody being good. Truth is not like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know life is not black and white, but that is for sure, 100%. But I mean, in this case, isn't it just like a normal defamation? I mean, straightforward. Alex Jones lied about this, about what had happened. Maybe the correlation of how this led to the violence and to the families being harassed and all that. But it's just about that, right? It's about nothing more.
It's about that, but proving it is
proving that this led difficult. To if Alex Jones didn't say these things, that that the parents wouldn't have been harassed, and that but I mean, wasn't he directly involved almost with these kind of things and stuff? He did more than just doing that behind the camera, right? I mean, there was always a camera rolling, but did he not take part in protests and places in front of these kind of things?
I have no idea. To be honest, I have no idea. So I mean, look, he's a piece of shit. Okay, let me clarify.
Yeah, of course. No, it's fair what you were saying. I think
Alex Jones is a piece of shit who whips off hatred of minorities or different groups or
not even minorities. I mean, just this was not even.
But for example, parents. Women or whatever, to get more money to sell more fucking vitamin pills. Do I think that needs to be illegal? people need to be put.
No, but this is
jail
just
for
like
that?
suing though, and this is not. Is this not what Johnny Depp did? She's doing the same thing. I mean, it's not a lie. Yeah, the people are saying, okay, they received more than, just the bad
You're
names
right,
being.
you're right. Yeah.
But I mean,
right.
that's what I understood that overall this is. I mean, I'm not crazy in the case
that's right.
either.
But pretending this is about something like, okay, you're right.
That's
right.
what I'm saying. I don't know that these angles that these guys.
Yes, you're right. These angles that these guys have are.
Yeah.
What's the comments? Some of the comments.
The comments are good. The judge literally had to scold him and tell him he lied under oath twice. And this is just about he had money. He has money. This one's funny. This is like walking into a random garage and hearing some random dudes talk about their opinions on current events based on what they heard on the news.
That is completely correct. That is 100% correct, actually.
Parents kept on getting harassed, but he did know it was a lie. So here, getting to think of the intent behind it.
Gives a shit about.
I don't know their names. I like this one. But as soon as Kyle said it's Alex and Sitch at the end of the videos, a light bulb went off and immediately recognized their voices from his videos. I've seen a lot of their insanely stupid shit. So basically you have to say is I didn't mean it, and then boom, this is about, they're countering their points. So yeah, I mean, everything the other countering their points, but not redefending these guys.
Let's forget about the content, but I would like to talk about the fact that, have you noticed that Alex and Stitch, or Raccoon and Berry, or Kam and Jam, or Sam and Dam, they get interviewed by Kyle, and then Bernie Sanders or anybody who's a real politician or somebody with real opinions, they get interviewed with Kyle.
Yeah. Wait, your microphone fell, but say that again.
Oh, sorry. What is with my? Oh, I just said, have you noticed that anybody named Sam and Jam or Kam and Ham or, Stitch and Bitch and that type of thing is interviewed by Kyle?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who's slightly important or has actually some influence is interviewed by Crystal.
Yeah,
so
that's so funny. And I feel like Kyle is so serious with these guys, and it looks like he really enjoyed talking with them, but then he hates going on other people's shows and stuff like that and talking to them or interviewing so many much more interesting people. They're not too interesting at all, but they're still more interesting on the left. But he often didn't want to go. The Vanguard boys, even it took him forever to go on their show. I think that asked them other people, but with he's listening to these two guys. Look at this look on his face. The effort.
Yeah. Oh my god. What do you think is the intake of
man? Honestly,
guy?
I was thinking of that too. Though I was like, why? I mean, why is it only Kyle? But you're right. She gets all the big one. He gets the ones, and he was respecting these guys so much. It kind of surprised me.
He's an idiot. I mean, have you seen him dress? Really? His shoes, his tank top. But forget about his dress. Have you seen his takes on anything domestic politics, foreign policy? These guys are stupider than him because I don't think they even qualify for having a take. But come on, Kyle is awful. Look, he covered a lot of Jesus stories I liked when I was younger, but he's awful. He's fucking
I don't know, but at least, I don't know. He's not. I mean, here where he spoke about Alex Jones, he said far more interesting things than all of them. If it was just a video of Kyle talking for a few minutes here, it was much more informative and interesting and all that. So I get what you're saying, but to this extent, finding it interesting. I mean, I would have stopped the interview with these guys after a few minutes. I would have been sorry, there was a mess up.
Yeah, but Kyle finds them interesting.
Yeah, that's
Kyle
shocking.
You forget Kyle found Vaush interesting. I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling the exact truth. So,
but man, do you think they were outdone by this guy, Sam Tripoli, or is this guy just an act? Like, I mean, is this guy just an act?
I think this guy is genuine, and I love him. I want Sam Tripoli. I believe this video had the highest count of somebody saying bro per second.
Is it funny from the get-go?
Bro. Yeah, well, pretty much, yeah.
Did your mic fall again, funny. By the way?
No. Oh, yes.
Let me just play a few seconds.
No. Have you ever heard of New Schwabenland? New Schwabenland. You never heard of New Schwabenland? No. Have you ever heard of Operation High Jump?
Schwabenland?
I knew I was going to love this podcast. No. Dude, it's Operation crazy. High Jump. What does that mean? Okay, dude. So at one point, some people are like, what's going on with Antarctica? Have you heard of this? Where they sent Admiral Byrd?
I said no. It should be anybody who starts like a story in that way, like, you know, like the floor under them should open and they just fall and they're eliminated. They're like, okay, that's it. You're eliminated from life.
So some people are like, what's going on with Antarctica?
Word up.
It's so good.
What's going on in Antarctica? Yeah. So the U.S. government's like, something's going on with Antarctica. There's some activity up there. We want to find out what's going on. So they send this cat named Admiral Byrd up to investigate with a giant fleet, just a fleet to go bang, bro. You know. When was this? I think this was in the. When was Eisenhower in? Was it the?
First of all, he talks about it as if it happened, you know, during the COVID years. When it happened? Oh, when was I? Such a disingenuous start. Honestly, I was like, what are we talking about? March 2022? Like, when did this take place? Like,
I just love how the rationale. I love they were like, oh man, we gotta find out what's going on there. Like, you know, you can't imagine Eisenhower.
Man, these people exist, but they don't usually. I mean, you know, it's rare to see them on TV. You know, like, I mean, because this guy exists. That's why I don't know if it's a parody or.
The thing. I think these people exist more than we do, man. I've seen these people. I've been at parties where they're majority and I'm a minority. So.
50s? Yeah, it was like 50s? Right around just either around World War II or right after it. And so they sent Admiral Byrd up to go find out. And according to his journal that they found much later, he basically met with UFOs, Nazi UFOs. What? Yes. Nazi UFOs. The Nazis. The Nazis had a flying saucer. Had made a deal, basically, working with interdimensional. You've never heard this? No. It's the greatest story ever, bro. It's the greatest story. So the Nazis made a deal with the aliens? Yes. Holy shit. For technology, and the deal was they were going to work together, okay? I know this sounds crazy.
Greatest story ever.
Basically, the aliens go down, and Klaus Schwab's dad go down and meet with Eisenhower. It's gonna be like we could either do it one way or the other way. We could do it nice or we can do it the wrong way. And that's where they say Eisenhower made a deal with these aliens that they could kidnap people and do experiments, but they couldn't just do it anywhere. They had specific places, which were our national forest. What? Yeah, dude. You've never heard of this. You're making this sound as if this is like a story that is commonplace. Well, for my people, it is. Jamie, count me out here. Have you heard this story?
Brand new.
You've never heard of this?
Jamie's never heard of this. Yo, I think we're playing too much of it. Really? It might come after us.
Oh,
Spotify.
Correct.
He's not the usual spot. Yeah, maybe. But man, you know what I love about aliens? Aliens seem to be allergic to cities or something. Every case is like, okay, you know, that field over there that's been like untouched.
Yeah, we gotta
aliens came there. Antarctica.
I mean, it's
and they're always up to like the most normal thing. They'll come here and like, you know, they'll be impressed with I don't know, like, you know, glass making or something. Like they're coming to look at humans that
can roll a cigarette. Really? Is that
pottery? Like they're fascinated. They just like
yeah, you're not gonna play that, but it gets even better because he starts going into his beliefs and like I believe that, you know, I don't believe all the, you know, nonsense, but I believe that aliens may have. Oh my God, whoever is Sam Tripoli, I love him. And I love how many times he says, bro, man, bro, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy, bro. Bro, you never heard this, bro?
And, you know, people are like
transported back to being 16, buying weed from a drug dealer that I don't like, but he's continuing to talk to me about his band and all that. So
true, bad. And in the comment section, people actually liked it. They're like, wait, this is the old school Joe Rogan content that we used to like. And I was like, it's a bit unfair. It never was like this. You're pushing it. Now your imagination.
But you think they're doing that consciously, or do you think they're doing it like they're chasing the economics, and along the way it actually becomes a spiritual battle because everything is a spiritual battle?
I think it's done purposely. I think they're evil. I think they're low. There's low frequency stuff going on, and they've made deals with people and things, and that's what I think's going on.
That was very ambiguous, but I understand where you're going with it.
I love Jordan.
Man, Joe is messy. Joe is going with the flow, right? I mean, he's not like.
He's not too.
He knew what he was getting himself like into. Us. And I don't know what this guy is. It just says YouTuber. It's hard to define him. It's just exactly. Indian.
What do you think? He
said I thought it was a comedian, maybe. In a bro.
8-minute video, he
later.
Said, bro, like
he. So they sent and so they.
Why did he know the name of like this general or whatever so well? Though that fascinated me. Like that one detail. He knew it very well. He was the son of blah blah blah, the great grandson of. But everything else is like, bro,
Patton's son said that Patton had seen a weird light going through the sky, and then, you know, bro, people were like at the same time, bro, do you have weed, bro? I don't have any weed, bro. It's just
oh man. Okay, I was so stupid.
What a fucking idiot.
But I mean, if someone knows more about this guy and if it's an act, please let us know. Or like, yeah.
No, I think he's one of these fucking weirdos.
And it's unclear. I didn't get it. Were the aliens like Nazi aliens in terms like, you know, they're like racist towards other aliens, or these aliens came and they made a deal with the Nazis?
No. He explained. Nazis made a deal.
So Nazis that doesn't make them Nazi aliens.
They don't. You're right. So some aliens that like Japanese, they made a deal with the Nazis. They're part of the axis of power, really. That's what. And frankly, if they made a deal with Nazis and Nazis lost, I don't give a shit about those aliens. They suck. You're shit.
Man, if anyone's in Antarctica and like threatening me from there and telling me to make deals, I'm like, no, you come here.
Come over, motherfucker.
You're clearly an idiot.
Can you imagine you were spending like how much money, how much technology to get from a different solar system to Earth? But you okay, guys, now we have to make a deal with the Nazis, okay? We don't like, I know we traveled across galaxies and all that, but now we have to talk with Nazis. Oh shit, now Nazis are defeated. We have to talk to Eisenhower, one of the biggest one of the biggest non-entities that America, like basically the guy who plays golf 24/7. Yeah, we have to negotiate with him so we can kidnap people from national forests. That's a big conspiracy. You fucking idiots. Oh my God.
I don't know why, but it's kind of making me think of like the aliens in Space Jam. And if they were like those aliens riding their spaceship and they'll be reading like news stories like, okay, Hitler is the big boss on this planet. Let me go talk to them. Like, that's it. But man,
oh my
okay,
God.
should we move on to some other pretty ridiculous stuff to wrap up this show?
Yes, I feel this was just too much. The idea of a alien race, they came to Earth, but now, guys, we need some connections on Earth. Who is the good connection? Oh, Adolf Hitler. He's a popular guy.
And by the way, does anybody know of a good plumber also? Yes, plumbing is actually universal. Our system is just like yours.
So guys, does anybody know about heating? Because when we crash, the airplane system is a bit
All right, let's talk about this Iranian Hulk fellow. So this gentleman right here was supposed to have a fight with this man right here. So, that made a little bit the news.
Ford,
yeah, Martin Ford. And that didn't happen. I mean, I don't know if this guy knows much fighting, but, this Iranian Hulk guy, I mean, according to stories that he's saying, okay, I'm going to let Sam tell much of a background story, but there might be seriously wrong with this poor Iranian Hulk guy, really. But this is a fight that he took part in. And if anybody knows anything about boxing, they'll know that, his behavior here is like, like literally if you go train someone on the street for at least a few weeks and all this, and, they're not badly mismatched. I mean, he does like the one most universally like worst thing ever. Anyway, let's get into it. So he's the giant in blue. All the other guys.
Wait. Let me just give it a side background. He's the guy who we saw the picture in the beginning. He's called Iranian Hulk, and sorry about the hiccups. He was supposed to fight the Martin Ford, but he didn't. Now he's fighting a Kazakh boxer, and this happened last week. So.
Why is he turning on?
Man, like, I mean, the poor guy, he had no...
What's going on?
I don't know. He was terrified. He was turning his back and running away. I mean, you never turn your back because you can't defend yourself whatsoever. I mean, if you turn your back...
What if the guy is hitting you a lot?
I mean, that's even worse. Yeah, you never turn your back because then he can keep on hitting you. Just like how he kept on turning his back, but he kept on getting hit. It doesn't stop you from getting hit. You still just get hit from behind nonstop without you being able to defend yourself, like both to the face and the body and everywhere. I mean, you don't see this.
It's not a tactic or...
No, not at all. I mean, you never, ever see this. I mean, it's like the rarest thing for this and to happen. And here he pretty much stopped fighting before the fight was even over. He was trying to walk away, you see? He's trying to walk away and stop. I mean, the video says here that he got knocked out, but he didn't get knocked out or anything. He just barely took a few punches and then pretty much from not being used to it whatsoever. I'm not saying that I am or anything, but he just like pretty much like ran away. I mean, he has like zero, absolutely like zero pretty much training. I mean, very, very little. I mean, he knows to hold his hands a little bit here, but
so this motherfucker claimed to be really tough or whatever. He was supposed to fight Martin Ford, and this British like body athlete who's seems, by the way, he seems to be from Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken. That accent, which is so funny when it's put on such a huge guy. Yeah, you know, I wanted to help this guy. He was having, you know, I'm a Stephen Gerrard, and you know, I wanted to help this guy, but he was you know, he's got a Scouse. I think it's a Scouse. Might be mistaken, might be Northern, but it's just so nice for a guy that, you know, because he's covered in tattoos and stuff. He was the nicest guy ever. Maybe you can play a bit of his interview just to show, like,
performance.
Yeah.
Of people sending me messages on that level, which I've still got all the screenshots of. Never did anything with it. It was just, it's still there.
People sending him messages about his family, insulting his family.
Yeah. But I mean, he's very compassionate towards the Iranian Hawk. I mean, you know, he kind of says like things. He has mental problems, and he was forced to do this and all this, and like, you know, he didn't want to fight him. And apparently, the Iranian Hawk like cried on TV because his family disowned him. I mean, what is going on with this guy?
Bullshit. I mean, Iran. He didn't cry on TV. He recorded something on his phone that was played on TV. And frankly, you watch the Martin Ford interview in the video we played, and he went on a bridge in Dubai saying that I'm gonna kill myself, my family. This is all bullshit. I'm telling you, 100% bullshit. In Iran, like not in Iran, in anywhere, I don't think, but in Iran especially, you don't have a culture of like, you disowned us. No, you disown people. You know what? When they change their religion and marry I don't know, like a Hindu or something. You know, it's not something like a strong. He's bullshitting Martin Ford.
But what is wrong with him?
Martin Ford is so nice. What is wrong with him? He wants attention. He wants.
So there's nothing wrong with him. Like, you've heard him.
What do you mean?
Yeah. No. You're right.
Guy
you're right.
I sent you because I disagree. I think this guy is. This guy thinks both of them were on the show, but no, I doubt Martin Ford was on the show. I think this guy was an idiot who was taken advantage of by his managers. But I also think he's a psycho. Stupid enough to believe because, for example, I would add that he said that he was gonna sign up for defending Syria against ISIS. Apparently, I mean, he says he did. He was never called up, even though he was the appropriate age and all that. He also said, what did he say? Sorry, it escapes. He said so many things that are like he, and then that's what I wanted to say. Iranian Federation of Boxing, because of his embarrassing fight against the Kazakh, they were asked about this, and the spokesperson for the Federation of Iranian Boxing said that this guy has no connection to us. He has no relation to us, and his fighting style was just too stupid to even comment on. If that makes sense.
I mean, no, he didn't know any, like, no, it's like a nothing, it's like a joke. Yeah, I mean, exactly. And what they're saying, you know, he had absolutely zero training.
Yeah, and I the only reason I really wanted to bring this story up was that he has no, like, I'm sorry, but if some American asshole goes to do like some, I don't know, tries to attack a bear and then gets killed, is that like a representation of America?
No, of course not.
As the Boxing Federation said, as I am saying, as the only and so.
But is anybody saying that?
Iran. I don't know, but you know, you create imaginary enemies that are easy to knock down. So, as the sole representative of Iran and YouTube, we have no connection with this motherfucker. He's representing himself. I love Martin Ford. He seems like such a nice man.
Yeah.
No, don't you agree? It was like, I had depression. I feel for this guy. I think he seemed like the nicest big man I've ever seen. Oh, right.
No, I agree. He was very nice, at least in this interview.
Very guy, and I think that Iranian guy took advantage of him. He pretended he's suicidal so that he doesn't sue the shit out of him.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, good luck suing an Iranian guy, but yeah, and you can't.
No. He was gonna sue the Iranian guy.
Oh, but either way, yeah, it's not doable.
Yeah, I'd ask. The family disowned him is bullshit. 100%.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Bullshit.
And yeah, so anything else on this guy, or should we move on?
No. That was it.
And last but not least, what is going on here?
So, like, I should have may have saved it for our chit chat, but Carbon Moth and I have been watching these videos of a Canadian girl like trimming some dog, and it led me to these weird Korean, Japanese. I want to say Asian videos, but I think they're overwhelmingly Japanese and Korean. That, man, it's so weird. Like they it's such a like they add like dialogue. And they add these like ha ha ha, the cat is laughing now, ha ha ha. It's so weird. Is that like a Japanese thing? Is that an Asian thing? What is going on? Please, somebody explain to me. They keep making like a, when you read comics and they have a bubble thingy, and the cats keep having dialogues and things, and it's a very interesting genre. It's like watching animals like it's so weird.
Let's watch a little bit.
I think. The cat that silent. She's praying.
합장하고 있잖아요. 한번 보세요.
This song,
꼼짝 안에 합장하고 이렇게 있어도 금방 흩어질 텐데.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I mean, they speak Japanese, it's okay, but like it's so weird. It's such a. I mean, this is one video, but I've seen so many.
Yeah, no, just with this video, I can barely hear you when because it has music all the time.
Oh, sorry.
That's a pause. No worries. But yeah.
Play a bit more.
끝나고 내려갔더니 한 핸드폰 크기만한.
That's hilarious, though.
The dialogues, the
subtitles. As the Buddhist, what made you become? What made you become a Buddhist? That's really funny, though, when animals like have those kind of thoughts or ideas. I find it hilarious.
It is. I must say, it's hilarious. I play this game all the time, but it's just they take it to such a high level.
I know. Monk, does it taste good? I feel like this is my dog. That's
Look at this. Look at. I love the sound.
볼까요? 자.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
But
맛있는 거 먹으면 그래.
They do a slow motion. They do so much. Japanese are awesome.
That was too much. I'm not okay.
Is that a Japanese thing? Is that the Asian? Please, somebody clarify this to me, because it's awesome. Whatever it's so like they do a whole like a segment. What is that thing? They're like weasels, but they're not weasels. They're smaller, and they're like 4 of them, and they're like in a house of someone and they feed them different. It's so much fun, and they put dialogues like subtitles on it. Oh, I don't like this. It's so much fun. I'm having a time of my life right now.
No, that was pretty funny. She cries when she eats delicious food. Damn. Okay. But okay, that's it for today. Please leave your comments, question, and criticism down below. We'll make sure to get to them. If not, please like and subscribe. I'll see you in our next video. Thank you for watching.
Apologize for the hiccups.